Baturdays. Baturdays. OmniDog is the minister of comics. Talk forever, get right your ergonomics. Taking questions from the chat. With a name like that, you think they talk more about the bat. Baturdays. 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 In the BatCave.
Heyo, welcome to OmniDog's Vault, Baturdays in the BatCave with Dominick from the Comic Book Report. How are you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm pretty good. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks for being on. We did not have any time in the green room, so we're gonna get to know each other on the air because everything's everything's content. So we already heard from Bunk. That's good. Not my nephew Ryan Bragg is here. Of course, James, the ever lovable Kane, Captain Underpants. Javier's here. Nice. David Sexton, who reminded me I had a show tonight. Thank you, David. Sazverv, nice. Heyo. William Lee, nice. The Comic Book Report has great shorts.
Oh, thanks so much.
Nice. Alex is here. Cage. Cage. Yeah, there you go. Doc Elevator, Mr. Awesome. This is all the usual suspects. Nice. Mr. Tex and Larry. Awesome. Okay, so I don't watch any here's my dude, Omni Nation.
Oh, what's up, Day Day?
I think we're in talks to get him on the show. He wasn't ready, but I feel like he's ready now. Is that I feel like that's right, Omni Nation? You feel like the time is right? I need to figure out how to get a hold of you. You know what? Here, let's show this. My here's my email address, Omni Nation. Is this how we talk? I forget. You can write me there, and we need to work out when to get you on. Oh, whoa, while we're here, Organic Price Books code OmniDog gets you $2 off. 5% shipping shipping 4 more books together with code OmniDog sit. Right on, man. And there we go. We confirmed already, Jess. We already set a date. What was the date? Okay. I believe this is probably what people would say is on brand for me. What the heck? I'm so sorry. What date did we set? I just finished my first Omni of the year. Good for you. USM Volume 4. Nice.
Very cool.
Kenny's here. No, you're not. You know, it's just me. Marvel Bab, who hasn't missed a show in like 10 years. He's my good luck charm. Good to see you. Omni Nation, just tell me the date. I just forgot to put it down. Well, see, Dominic, this is what happens when you're the oldest YouTuber on comics. It was February 8th. Okay, wait a sec. Let me check February 8th.
His birthday.
His birthday, that's right. February. Oh, that's January. February 8th. No, wait a sec. I made a mistake. I booked somebody else for that slot. Okay, we'll talk off air, Omni Nation. I screwed up. I genuinely apologize. Look at James. James knows my schedule better than me. Yeah, I have Beyond Comics on that day. Just a sec, Dominic. We'll get to you in a
You're
second.
fine. I'm just here for the ride.
Can you do? How about the 22nd day? Can you do that? And I'm super sorry. Hang on, Jake. I'm dealing with a crisis. I'm almost about to lose a guest. Yeah, I double booked.
Ooh.
Don't Apollo lie. Oh no, he's got a vendetta against me. How about the 22nd of February? I need a guest, and you're perfect. You're getting the full OmniDog experience here tonight, Dominic.
I love it. I'm here for it. Anytime we can talk about Day, I'm down. It's great.
Yeah, I don't know how I don't know him. That's one of the things, like, everybody seems to know him and I don't. So that's why I really wanted to get him on the show, because Bunk's like, "Hey, Day," and you're like, "Hey, Day," and I'm like, what the hell is going on with Day? How do I not know him?
He's great. Honestly, he was one of the first kind of friendly people that reached out when I was first starting. He had some great content. He was doing it a little more frequently a few years back. And I still think of him every time I hear someone talk about the Hulk, for example. He's had a lot of great content on that specifically. No, he's great. Always so encouraging and everything. Mm-hmm.
I'll still send you a birthday gift, Day. I apologize. Uncle Jess. Oh boy. Now I really feel bad. And this is the reason I love this station. Omni Nation, 1 p.m. Well, let's see. I could do that. Would you like to be on the OmniDog and OmniCat show at 1 p.m.? I'll do double shows. Why don't we do that? Are you free at 1 p.m. On February 8th, and we can celebrate your birthday? Okay. I'll let him answer, and I'll go back to okay. Harvey asks, who is this guy? Harvey, this is Dominick from the Comic Book Report, and he pumps out the videos.
Woo.
He pumps them out, and from what everybody says, they are super interesting. He does a lot of shorts on YouTube, and he has I think he has more subscribers than I do. He has as many videos as I do, but half my videos are live streams, so they don't really count. But yes, Comic Book Report is a very popular YouTube channel. Wait, let's go back to make sure Braven Boys is not hurt. You both are two of my favorite people, not just in this hobby, but in this world. You both make the world brighter and more positive. That is way nice. And you can get to the Comic Book Report through a link that I put in the description box. It's right there. It'll take you right to his channel. I tested it, saw how many subs and vids he has. He's not just some small-time influencer. This guy has a lot of people listening to him, and I'm going to find out exactly what's going on at the Comic Book Report. There's Dean. Hey, Jess. How you doing? Hey, Dom.
Hey.
Dominick is quickly becoming one of my faves, a voice that drips with honey. Your voice drips with honey, Dominick. What about that?
Apparently. That's great. I'm a little allergied out today, so maybe too much honey going on today, but hopefully it's not too grating or anything.
You have an amazing voice as well, Jess. Nobody said nobody. I don't have an amazing voice. I hear myself back and I'm like, how can anybody stand my voice? I can't stand my voice. It's awful.
We're going to have to agree to disagree there. I think you're definitely, there's a reason people listen in.
Oh, well, that's kind of you. Thank you. I'm not a usual suspect. Carl, it's been a while, but I'm glad you're here. Oh, there's BatCave right on. Did we already say Alex was here? I think we did. But Jess is the oldest. I'm the youngest. Yeah, you might be right. I'm going to be pissed if somebody is older than I am is on YouTube. That's all I have to hang on to right now. Robert Reese, how's everybody doing tonight? Glad I caught a stream early for once. Yeah. I just heard about this, Dean. Did you see that Chip Zdarsky Daredevil Volume 2 is already out of print? Crazy, right? By the way, I said, hey, Jess, you did not see. Nope, I saw it. I went back and saw it. Is it out of print or just like out of stock? Did Very Fine Condition say it's genuinely out of print? Because it just got released. That's a pandemic kind of stuff. That's not. I would have thought they would have made way more.
Is that both covers as well? Because I know that had a direct market cover too. I'd be
That's
shocked. I mean, that just dropped like what, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah. Let's double check. Let's go to someplace. Okay, we'll go there and search Daredevil good grief, Zdarsky. Let's see. What's it say? Ooh, it's not looking good.
Really? Oh man.
Volume 1's still in stock, but I don't need that. I have the oversized hardcovers. Wow. It's out of stock there. Let's go to another place that I generally don't go. Cheap.
That's just really shocking if it already is, because that's a pretty celebrated modern run that I know a lot of people were looking out for that.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Search.
Meanwhile, you can still find DC versus Marvel and some of these other ones that were supposed to be the big,
yeah.
you know.
Can you still get the Jim Lee cover? That was the one that was.
I don't know about the Jim Lee cover. I went for the whatchamacallit, the Perez cover of the first one. I didn't do Amalgam, or at least not yet. I got this guy though. Let's see. Whew.
It's still pretty boss looking.
Oh, I love that one. And what's funny is Jim Lee's one of my absolute favorites, but for some reason, looking cover to cover, I had to go with that one.
You have to follow your heart.
Yeah, I was very surprised not picking Jim Lee. I almost always go for Jim Lee, but I don't know. I like the look of the Perez covers. So,
wow. Oh wait, yeah. Oh, that's volume 1. Daredevil by Chip Zdarsky, volume 2. Wait, is that No Devil's Only God? That's not an omnibus. Omnibus volume 1.
standard cover
omnibus.
right here. Woo-hoo.
Okay, wait. Daredevil by Chip Zdarsky, omnibus volume 2, Chiquetto cover is still in stock at Cheap Graphic Novels, and it's still both covers are still in stock at Cheap. Yeah, that cover is still in stock at Cheap Graphic Novels.
This is a really cool cover too. If you have the volume 1 and got the same cover, they kind of match, which is really, really cool.
Oh, I kept my oversized hardcovers, so I don't get that.
Oh man. Yeah, I finally sold my off when I heard we weren't going to get a last like volume or whatever.
Yeah, that's the smart thing to do. Okay, let's go to my sponsor. Or not sponsor, my organic priced books. Okay, let's go there.
Yeah, so this is what the standards look like. If you
that's cool. Yeah.
We've got Daredevil, and then we got inverted colors for Elektra on the other side. Woo-hoo.
Daredevil by Zdarsky. Volume 1, volume 2. Okay, volume 2 is on back order at Cheap Graphic Novels. Wow, but they don't. That's the DM is on back order. Wait a sec. Oh, it's sold out. Volume 2 with the cool cover is sold out.
Wow.
Well, if you really want it, you're going to have to go to a competitor, Cheap Graphic Novels. Peace and love to Cheap Graphic Novels. But it sounds like it's on its way out of print.
That's crazy.
It really is. I'm always surprised by that.
Some of that stuff is so unpredictable for me. That's the stuff that kind of stokes the FOMO that I don't always love, or you just don't know, like, because there's
Yeah.
some omnibuses that, budget wise, like if I can't pre-order them or something, it's like, okay, can I raise enough, or can I sell off some old books to get it? But when stuff like this happens, this is like one of my least favorite. I mean, it's great for the market, I guess, if we're selling that well, but I really don't like when, you finally get all your stuff in the row and then they're like, what was it? Wonder Woman by Gail Simone. That was one that was kind of on my back burner list. And then apparently that went out of print again really recently. And I was like, darn.
Oh, they reissued it? Because I know when it first came out, it was gone in 2 seconds because of the pandemic.
Yeah. So they re-released the Simone Wonder Woman run like sometime this last year, I think. And it was always one of those books where like, I like Gail Simone stuff that I read. If I'm able to like, get the funds in, I'll do it. And never quite got there. And then I was looking couple weeks ago and it looks like it's out again. So I mean, maybe you can find it here or there, or maybe people aren't scalping it too high on like eBay or something. But yeah, it's already gone, and that surprised me.
Wow.
Not as much as Daredevil though. Apparently, if that's a thing.
It was. I feel like it was a week ago. Was it 2 weeks ago? Is it a December thing?
I think it was literally like maybe the last day of the year. Like it was like
I think you're
it might have
right.
been the 31st, or it was right on the cusp there at the end. But that's not, it's been maybe 2 weeks, like not even. But
I remember, sometimes that would happen before the pandemic on certain books that you had to get right away. But I feel like books have been sticking around a little bit more.
Yeah.
Wow. Uh-oh. Now I have to rethink your birthday gift, Jess. Punishment. Mr. Tex, salty about my treatment of Day Day. I'll inbox you about that later on to confirm. Okay, that's fair. I apologize. I love all this planning on stream. It cracks me up. Yeah, it's. Kenny says Supergirl will always try to save people. Period. Sure, she may not always. Wait, sure, she may not always do, but she has to try. It's a promise she makes every single time. Something her cousin Superman always does to try to do the right thing no matter what. It's the reason she puts on that S. Kenny, if anybody loves Supergirl more than me, it's Kenny. I am a huge Supergirl fan, but yeah, he is he is better than I am. Oh, here's our friend from the Great White North, True Graphic. How are you doing, True Graphic? What are you reading now, True Graphic? You always have interesting things that you're reading. William Lee has a compliment for you. You might be the best in the shorts video game.
Whoa. Okay. I will take that. Thank you.
Yeah, I have one short, and I did it a year ago. So
yeah, I kind of dropped shorts for a little while, and I started picking them back up because I had people that were watching kind of comment in like we missed the shorts, and so I'm trying to throw things out. I'm trying to do like newer things that interest me with the shorts lately. But yeah, I don't know, but I appreciate it. Thanks for watching.
Do you feel like, and I apologize, I'm eating right now. I didn't have dinner. Do you feel like shorts contribute to subscribers to your channel?
I think so, honestly. And my philosophy with YouTube has been kind of like where I have bandwidth and where the kind of content forms interest me, I will try to make on-ramps to my channel where able. So as I saw shorts kind of heating up more on YouTube, I thought, it could be a fun way to kind of throw something together quicker, and we'll see, and I found with my channel, I was having almost 2 audiences. Like I had people that would jump in for shorts, and I'd have people that jump in for longer form. And I played with that a little bit. And like I said, there was a season where I kind of took off shorts, and it was interesting to see who was still there, who remained, or what have you. But definitely a big traffic, like kind of volume subscriber on ramp for sure with shorts. Yeah. But yeah, it's been fun to play with,
I'm about to start watching Dominick's channel. No, right. You were going to watch after the show, Alex. Yeah. Wait till the show. Here's our buddy Matt. Hey guys, impressive collection of Spidey back there, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
What's why don't you tell us what all you have as far as Spidey goes?
Well, this is just my Spider-Man omnibus. I also have a couple paperbacks somewhere over there. Let's see what I got. I don't know how far we can see here, but take me on faith if you can't see it. But I got the first 5 volumes of Amazing, got Spectacular, I got Roger Stern, Black Costume, a lot of Miscellaneous stuff like Todd McFarlane, Larson. Let's see. I have Just Spider-Man by Todd McFarlane. I got Dave Michelinie, Mark Bagley. Let's see. All the Clone Saga. What do I got back there? I got the JMS run, Brand New Day, Superior, Spider-Verse, Spider-Geddon, the Zdarsky stuff, both of the Nick Spencer volumes, Beyond, then kind of my Ultimate run into Miles, and then some of my like Spider-adjacent characters like Spider-Gwen, Spider-2099, and then into Venom. But
I was going to ask you if you had Spider-Gwen. That's good.
Yeah, I got both of those. I don't have the cool like direct market cover though. I missed out on that, but I was happy to get any of it. So
I don't know what cover I have for both those. I just like that the spines match up nicely.
Yeah, I love the look of it. I like I'm a little colorblind, but the like purpley. I think it's purple.
Yeah, purple with white white spider writing.
Maybe a little bit of a pink hue on top. I can't totally tell, but yeah, I love the look of that.
Yeah. Dom, really like your top 10 shorts.
Awesome, cool,
nice. He's not. He is not misleading them. He, actually, this is a good point to find out why you're not misleading them. What's your content like? You have a lot of videos. Do you do any live streams or anything?
That's a great question. So I don't know if you can tell. We're just like in a corner of my bedroom. My wife and I and our kiddos, we have a little apartment over here. So finding a place to set up and even do this has been kind of challenging. It wasn't until a couple months ago I realized I could just kind of jerry-rig the corner of my bedroom, you know? So I didn't have a place to actually film it for the longest time. And then with younger kids and, you know, my day job, it's tricky to find the time for live stream with me. So to make that answer an actual answer to your question, I haven't figured out how to do like straight up sitting like this live stream on a consistent basis. What I have done is when YouTube was pushing vertical live streams, I don't know if you remember that, like a couple months ago, they implemented like vertical live streaming. And I thought that sounded really novel. And so I had my little stand and I did a couple vertical live streams against like this bookcase here. Cause I like the look of it, like a standing bookcase, vertical format. And I would do live streams just kind of when I was able to, maybe every couple weeks or so. If it had been long enough, I'd do one that was just like what I'm currently reading and I'd flip through a little bit, answer questions. And sometimes I do topics like, hey, here's some of my favorite like Marvel writers or what have you. So that's really all the live streaming I've done is kind of the vertical live streaming. I'd like to do more stuff like this, but I think for me, scheduling is kind of a thing, you know?
Yeah. And you have 2 young kids. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, because if I'm not there, you know, helping with our kiddos, it's all on my wife and balancing that, you know. But I'd like to if I'm able to, but live streaming is probably the like weakest part of my channel at the moment. But it's fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Dom, I think you have a voice actor voice or anchor voice. I don't know, something like that. Boy, you're getting compliments.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
He does have that radio voice that Howard Stern would hate. That's a compliment. I love Howard Stern,
okay.
but that's okay.
But yeah, my actual channel, mostly what I do shorts like we've talked about. I do like top 10s. Sometimes I'll do like quick looks at different books and stuff like that. And then for my longer form content, I'll do like, you know, comic book reviews of collected editions, omnibuses, paperbacks, hardcovers. I'll do list videos as well in longer form format, you know, showcasing 5 books, 10 books at a time. I'll do an unboxing here or there. I'm trying to think what else I do. Every so often I'll do pre-recorded interviews with comic book creators. but yeah, and my channel is mostly faceless, so you don't get to see me as much. I focus more on like the books and flipping through the collections, panning shots. I'm there on occasion, obviously the interviews, but mostly it's a faceless channel. And then I also do daily community posts, just like goofy, like questions or multiple choice, kind of pick your answer kind of stuff. I really enjoy that too, just because it's a fun way to engage with the community. Sometimes I get recommendations that way. Other people get recommendations that way, or we get into some fun, like random conversations. I had a community post last week that really made me laugh. I wrote something like, who is the strongest superhero out of these 4 characters? And it was like Spider-Man, Steel, Aquaman, and Namor the Submariner. And I think in the poll, Spider-Man won, but like everyone was outraged because they're like, that's not even correct. Like, it's really clearly that this is a popularity thing, right? And it was really funny because all day, like, I'm at work and I'm just getting these notifications of people like basically saying Namor forever, or it's clearly Aquaman. And, I can't believe who is saying Spider-Man. It just really made me laugh, and so those community questions make me laugh because every so often I'll have a day like that where like I'm not even sure what I posted because I'll put the community questions way in advance, and all of a sudden I'll have like a bunch of notifications, and it's all people going back and forth about whatever. But anyway, that's a little bit about my channel.
And are you like, you and I are in the Jabronis chat?
Yeah,
that's how I know you. And this is my first time meeting you face to face. Are you like some of the other guys like Mitch and with big Herkin lighting and very fancy microphone, and you do a lot of editing and stuff?
I consider myself more of like assembly line fast food kind of stuff. I don't consider myself techie. Like, my microphone is a $20 USB plug-in.
Same.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Someone
I made
recommended
sure it changed colors.
if it works. I got like a $19 mic that plugs into a USB on my my computer. I have a little like mini ring light that I think was 20 or 30 bucks, and then I just got a light for Christmas for my wife that I don't know how much this was, maybe like 40 or 50, but no, I don't have the tech. My stuff doesn't have like the amazing polish. Like Mitch at Omnibus, like his stuff is like some of my gold standard.
Yeah.
Jake and Jordan at the Brave and the Boys, actually their setup is really crisp as well. I always really like the production value on theirs. But no, my stuff's pretty, like most of my stuff I film on like a piece of vinyl I bought from like a fabric shop. I bought like 2 yards of like a little vinyl like sheet basically, and I'll like throw it on a bed or on a table and I'll just record. I don't really,
Yeah. Oh, actually, my light's not on. Let's see if this makes a difference. This is before, and then I have a light that I bought long time ago. Let's see if it makes any difference.
The suspense.
I know, it's building. I have one light shining on me right now.
Let's go with yes.
I'll have to see what Kane thinks of it, because she was the one that told me to turn that light off. But what do you think now, Kane? VFC said it was out of print today during his Q&A. Both covers. Okay. Both covers out at distribution level.
That's
checked Diamond myself, and it is out for good. Wow.
That's brutal.
That really is. It's out of print, confirmed by JP. Okay.
Here.
I went with Jim Lee for both. Was that the amalgam type things that you were talking about? Did Jim Lee do a Marvel versus DC cover?
Yeah, he did that one, and he had one for the amalgam, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that was not a time that I didn't read those books. I'm really glad everybody's getting them. It wasn't necessarily for me, but I'm glad that everybody's getting them.
Yeah.
I found volume 2 on a non-sponsored website. I just named all the websites. Yeah, I named all the websites, so it's okay. Hello, Rafa. Welcome. Thank you for joining. My Daredevil still hasn't shipped. Uh-oh. One problem I know that JP sent me that he got a bunch of Daredevil Volume 2 that were donked on the corners. And I had ordered it, and he said, do you mind if it's got a slight donk on the corner? And I said, no, I don't care. That kind of stuff doesn't bother me. Please feel free to send it. So if you're out there and you've ordered Daredevil Volume 2 and it comes from OPB with a slight ding, you should be grateful because it's out of print now. Any condition is good for it if you just want to read the stories. This is what I did. I have the OHCs up to the second volume. I sent Volume 4 and my Daredevil Electras to Dom of X, who gave them to a friend, which I'm glad that I could help somebody out with that, because I love Marvel OHCs.
I'm so sad they're like distancing themselves from those. Those editions are beautiful. Like I had the 4 volumes of the Zdarsky run and I loved them. And then I think someone told me they weren't doing the rest of the run. And I was like, I don't want to hold on to these if I can't finish it. But yeah, beautiful format.
Yeah, I think it's all based on sales. If the OHCs don't sell as well as the Epics, then they are a business. But I'm sad, and I irrationally hold on to OHCs. Like I won't get rid of them. Yeah. There's just because I just love that's my preferred format.
It's a really cool blend of, I love omnibus. I love like getting my bang for the buck, like as many as we can cram in there, like the just gigantic monsters.
Yeah.
But OHCs are nice, 15 to 20-ish issues. It's oversized, like, anyway. And those Daredevil Zdarsky volumes are beautiful. Like I remember when I got the first one in, because I remember randomly for Zdarsky's Daredevil, the first trade paperback like sold out. Like for a while, it was really hard to get the first like trade paperback. And so the OHC came out, and that was my first opportunity to read the first, 14, 18 issues. I don't remember how many's in that first volume, but I loved it. So beautiful. But yeah, I heard they weren't finishing that line. I'm like, yeah, I don't need to hold on to those anymore.
And that OHC Volume 1 of Daredevil went out of print really fast and was hard to find. And my friend from Scotland, Sonny, Super Laugh Hard, sent it to me out of the kindness of his heart. And I was like, what a great gift. Now I can get all of Daredevil and OHC.
Yeah.
No, I can't. But that's why I'm keeping 1 through 3, because 1 was a gift and I'm not giving up a gift.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are beautiful additions though.
But Rafa has ordered the 300 graphic novel of Frank Miller. Nice. Did the hardcover, NFL dude, welcome. Did the hardcover stop before the material in the second Omni? A possible small print run based off sales of the first Omni and the other collections for the run could be a possibility. The hardcover stopped at 4, and that is material that is in the second Omni. If you wanted to keep Volume 4, you need to get the 3 Daredevil and Elektra trades. That's what comprises the second omnibus.
And the Devil's Reign event issues.
Ooh,
you should have it all.
Right.
Because the first 3 OHCs end perfectly at the end of the first omnibus. Omnibus Volume 2 has the 5 or 6 issues of Devil's Reign Omega, and then the last, I think, the omnibus has like issue 31 through 36, and then 1 through 14. The next volume number, which is like all that Daredevil Elektra stuff. So yeah, Volume 4 does dip into Omnibus Volume 2 a little bit. I always love talking about Daredevil. He's my favorite character.
Oh yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Of all
comics. All comics for sure. Daredevil's my number one.
Nice. I think he might be my favorite Marvel character.
Yeah. Batman's easily number 2, though.
Mhm.
That's easily number 2 for me.
True Graphic picked up the Tim Seeley Revival Compendium yesterday. I hope it's a great read. It gets a high recommendation from me, True Graphic. I loved Revival.
I don't think I read that one.
It's from Image. I have the oversized hardcovers, so I read it, gosh, when it came out, 2018. But I'm glad they're putting out the compendium. I guess the OHCs are out of print. But I found it to be a really cool twist on, I won't say what it is, but it's a horror genre, but it's a really cool twist on it.
Right on.
Yeah, it's really good. More compliments from you. Dom is awesome. Woo! His channel has been killing the game. I love it so much. With his summer blockbuster voice. Man, I'm going to have to listen to some of these.
You're going to make me blush. I think that, listen to my channel if you want to be put to sleep, right?
Here's Hondo, my Bay Area buddy. What's up, my OmniDog and guest? Just got back from Small Berkeley Con with Maniac Matt, Michelica. Yes, I met her at Heroes Con. And my friend Zeb, a.k.a. Black Zabbath. Oh, my friend Zab, also known as Black Zabbath. Picked up first Brother Voodoo. Nice, nice. Pulp, that's a great book. Okay. Daredevil at Chips RC regular cover is still for sale at Midtown Comics. Okay, so there's some places that we can still get it. But there honestly hasn't been much FOMO post-pandemic. Well, there's FOMO now for this Daredevil too.
Yeah.
This must be the Gail Simone when they reissued it and it went out of print again. I was going to buy Simone Wonder Woman, then it's out again. If anyone cares, well, Larry, if you care, that's good enough for me. All 4 volumes of the OG Elf Quest in color. Hardcovers are coming back into print this year from Dark Horse. Unfortunately, they are standard size, but still.
Larry actually had a fantastic video, I think last week, covering the Creature from the Black Lagoon hardcover that came out recently.
Oh, yeah.
It was so good. I've really been enjoying his channel a lot recently. I've been a subscriber for a while, but I was commenting because I wanted to see someone cover that book because I'm a fan of the Universal Monster stuff. And I saw it out, but I'm like, I don't know anyone who's read this. Anyway, he had a great review on it for anyone that's interested.
Have you read Tiny Onion's Dracula?
No, that's been on my list too. I haven't read any in this kind of relaunch, but I'm definitely curious because a lot of great talent. The art looks super good, but
it's awesome. I just realized it's January 11th and I haven't done my top books for 2024, which can't surprise anybody. But Dracula is going to make the list. It's that good. The art is amazing. It's atmospheric and beautiful. And the writing is just great. I think you'd dig it a lot.
I'll have to check that out. You know what book you recommended too that I got as a recommendation from your channel was that Inside the Mind of Sherlock Holmes book from Titan.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Oh my gosh, I just finished that a couple weeks ago. I loved it.
I'm so glad you liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was such an inventive and exciting read. I could read that over and over again.
The art was astounding, and your video was the first time I'd ever even heard of it, and then I saw it pop up a little more here and there. But yeah, I had a chance to read it. It was awesome. Really recommend that.
I'm so glad you liked it. That makes me feel good. I'm so glad you liked it.
Yeah, 100%. You recommended that, and then you also recommended. I think I talked to you about it in that Jabronis chat, but the Black Cat by so good.
You loved it too.
Yeah, you got a good recommendation percentage for me. Every so often, I'll come to you first on a couple things. Nice. And Black Cat was one of those, the Sherlock Holmes ones, and both of those knocked it out of the park for me. Really enjoyed it.
I'll have to think of something else that I can recommend to you since I'm 2 for 2 with you.
Well, maybe Dracula. I mean, that sounds up my alley. I like tie-in.
I highly recommend that one. Yeah, okay. I do. It's really, really very well done.
I'm trying to remember who's putting those out. Is it Image or is it? I don't remember what publisher's doing it.
I don't think it's Image.
I should know. Is it ID? No, I don't remember.
It's in the other room. Larry, who prints those?
I really should know. I was literally just looking him up this week after watching Larry's video, and I just can't. My brain just blanking.
Yeah, it's the Universal Monsters. I'm sure Larry has already answered it, but I'll get to it in a sec.
Yeah.
Now this is true. Looks like they print based on pre-orders heavily. I know Marvel does that. I don't know about DC, but I bet they probably do too. And it's interesting because I don't pre-order anything anymore, and I know that's kind of part of the problem. They want you to pre-order, but my pre-order site that was my go-to for a few years is just not up to snuff at this point, and so I don't pre-order anymore. And this is a great comment. Marvel has to clear the printers for that Strike Force Moriarty. That's not Moriarty. I think it's, what is it? It's not Moriarty. It's Morituri. I like Moriarty better though. That is such a weird book to make an Omni for. It's so weird.
We were just talking about Sherlock Holmes. Maybe something got crossed there.
He may have done that on purpose, which I really love.
I do like that.
I'm seeing the complete Batman Battle for the Cowl sold out. That doesn't deserve to be sold out. That was a very weak book. Very weak.
I'm a fan of that main series. It's not the strongest book in the world, but I just like it.
Well,
I'm not here to like defend it super crazy, but I will say I like it.
You kind of have to have it.
Yeah.
For all of what's going on there when Bruce is missing and stuff, you kind of have to have it. But so I can see why it sold out, because if you're following that time period with the Grant Morrison Final Crisis and the Grant Morrison Batman and stuff, you actually do have to have that. So I apologize. I'll pull that back. I'm pulling it back. You do kind of have to have that.
I don't know. Is the complete collection, was that a paperback or a hard? I just have like a small little trade paperback of the main few Battle for the Cowl issues, but I saw that something was coming out, but clearly I missed it. It came and went, but
I think it's a complete trade. Yeah. Complete collection. I have the hardcover of it from
nice.
10 years ago, 8 years ago. And I think that I'm surprised it sold out. I'm not surprised people bought it, but I'm surprised that it sold out.
Did Tony S. Daniel do the art for that? I'm trying to remember who. Anyway, that was, yeah. Well,
you might be right. He might have done that.
Yeah, I can't remember. That's like pinging something in my brain, but I could be wrong. But I'm so behind on DC, these releases. I just like
I know. I'm behind on Batman, but I'm almost caught up on Superman because Jessica and I have been reading Superman. We read through Warworld Saga, and then I'm going to have Wonder Maddie and Jessica and I are going to be on this month. What was I saying? This month, we're reading the next 3 trades of action.
Nice.
Because it bounces out of Warworld. So I want to make sure I keep up on it.
I finally got to the first volume. I read it digitally, but I finally read the first volume of World's Finest, Mark Waid and I think Dan Mora, right? Everyone raved about that book, and sure enough, it did not disappoint whatsoever. But I judged myself not getting the hardcover while it was in print. Like I said, I had a chance to read it digitally, and I was like, "Crap! This was such a fun."
I think you're okay because I've got 4 of the standard hardcovers, and I feel that means an omnibus is coming. Since I
feel like they have to, right, or some kind of collection. But
since I bought those 4 standards, I mean that, they have to. And I might upgrade because that art is so great, and the story's great, and the art is great.
I don't know who colored World's Finest, but that was one of the best parts for me about the art, was that it was like a high saturation for Dan Mora, and I thought it was just gorgeous.
I wonder
the
if
colors were.
I feel like it was Tamara Bonvillain.
Oh, that would make sense because Once
But-
in Future also had really vibrant.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, beautiful stuff there. That was a really fun recent read. And then I started the other DC book I read that is already now really old was the was it Ram V on Swamp Thing? Someone redid Swamp Thing with a new. I read the first couple issues of that finally, and that was also awesome. Anyway, I'm so behind.
Has that? Wait a sec. Has that been collected and put out?
In paperback, I think they had 3 paperbacks. I think this was another one I read digitally. But I think that Ram V's. I think it's Ram V.
Yeah. No,
It's
I
like
think you're
Swamp
right.
Thing Becoming, I think is the first volume. But yeah, I think there's 3 volumes. I think they released in paperback. But that's another one. I hope we get like a deluxe edition or something because I'll probably try to pick it up in physical.
Yeah, I definitely. I don't know that I collected the trades. Does that mean a deluxe is coming out? I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know how people decide this.
Yeah, I know. I don't think DC knows either. Kane says, I like Superman the animated series and Justice League's, and by extension, Unlimited version of Supergirl. I loved Supergirl at the very end of Batman the animated series. She shows up in an episode, and I thought she looked great and was really fun and funny. So I'm looking forward to all of that, Kane. I got some Blu-rays of the DC animated universe, and Geo sent me how to organize them. And I just bought, they had a 3 for $33 deal on Amazon for the 4Ks.
Wow.
And at $11, it was cheaper than the Blu-rays. I feel like Blu-ray is what I can stick with for animated series.
Mm-hmm.
But if the 4Ks are cheaper than the Blu-rays, I kind of have to, right? I mean, that's irresponsible not to get them.
That just makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, here's our friend from the Aussieverse, Jez and Dom. He's 11 from across the pond, Sharif. Okay, now I know Aussieverse is on the last month of the year. I'm going to check. Last month. Yeah, January 21st. I have Bar at 1 and then Aussieverse at 8. Oh, you think I sound like Dick Enberg? That's actually a very much of a compliment. Thank you. Dick Enberg was great. I love Dick Enberg. That's very old-timey, though. But yeah, he was awesome. River, welcome. Good to see you.
I did have a question for you. Let's see.
Nope.
Yeah, sure. Quick question for you. You mentioned being a big Supergirl fan earlier. I have to confess that other than like the Crisis books and a couple events or crossovers, the only Supergirl I've ever actually read is Woman of Tomorrow, which I loved. Like one of my all-time favorite. It was my favorite comic book read I read in 2023. Love that book. I upgraded to the deluxe right when that was coming out too. But I was curious, as a Supergirl fan, are there a couple recommendations you could give me who wants to maybe read a little more?
Here's the problem. You read the best Supergirl story ever.
It was so good.
Mariko Tamaki and Joelle Jones, I think, are the ones who made Supergirl Being Super. It's an out-of-continuity trade.
Okay.
That deals with her as trying to fit in as a normal teenager. Figuring out her powers and stuff.
Okay.
Until Woman of Tomorrow came out, that was the best Supergirl book to read. It's a small trade. It's got some genuinely funny moments. It's got some genuinely terrifying moments where she realizes she can't do everything, and she's just a teenager. But it's really grounded in being a teenager. Okay. There's a lot of teenager in this book where she's trying to be a normal teen. I would recommend you go there next. The Peter David had a good run on Supergirl. That's really good. I'm gonna buy New 52 Supergirl because that's one of those New 52 series that I really I liked. I know a lot of other people didn't.
Mhm.
But there's an important part in there, but I think it might be covered in the Red Lanterns book where she loses her memory and
Mhm.
becomes a Red Lantern.
Oh, wow.
And that is one of the bitchinest Supergirl stories ever because she's angry and she's powerful. But you can read that in the Red Lanterns book, which I highly recommend. That is a fabulous book that I'm so excited is getting an Omni.
That's a series I completely missed, and I love that Jeff Johns Green Lantern run, but I just completely missed the Red Lantern series. I really love New 52. I know that's an era that gets a lot of polarizing
Yeah.
feelings, and I completely understand where that comes from, but
Yeah.
New 52 started like right when I started to get into collected editions. So for me, it was like the perfect. I just like rode the wave. Like that
Yeah.
Batman run from Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo is still my favorite.
Yeah.
I'm a huge New 52 fan, and I remember, back on like a college budget, what books I was going to get in collected edition, and I was so excited. I had to get Batman. I got like, I think at the time I picked up like Action Comics and Justice League. Like there were a couple I got, but I remember seeing Supergirl on the shelf, and I'm like, I'm not gonna put my money at that. But there's always like, those couple titles that kind of got away from me that I never had the chance to. And I saw that they're coming out with the Supergirl New 52 omnibus. So I was curious what you thought on that. So appreciate your thoughts.
Yeah, that's a good point. Since so many New 52 Omnis are coming out, I should go back and critically look at that Supergirl run. Because I remember loving it, and I am an unapologetic fan of New 52.
Yes.
Flashpoint pulled me in to collecting. I was collecting just random graphic novels here and there, but Flashpoint pulled me in, and 52 made me stay a big floppy collector for several years until I went to collected editions. So
yeah,
I really like a lot of New 52, and I get it that it's an uneven. It's uneven, yeah, and I get it. It's uneven. Whereas Rebirth came out really strong across almost all the titles. But yeah, I should take a look at Supergirl so I can give an objective opinion because I'm definitely getting the omnibus.
Yeah.
That Red Lanterns was written. The first half was written by Peter Milligan, and the second half
Oh,
was even
crap.
stronger.
I didn't know Peter Milligan wrote that book.
Yeah, and
Dang.
but Charles Soule took over the last 4 trades of that.
Oh, man.
And that's when Supergirl becomes a Red Lantern, and that's considered the stronger run, but I still like the Peter Milligan part.
Yeah.
And that's one of those pain in the butt things that happens when volume 4 is the whale. Everything else was in print, and you couldn't get a complete collection without volume 4. So
Yeah.
that's what I would go out on hunts for when I was like traveling the country, looking for books for people and stuff. I found like one volume 4, and I had to keep it for myself, and I had it custom bound.
Wow.
But the Red Lanterns Omni that's coming out has more stuff than my custom bound book. So that's what I'll do a video on, comparing the two and how much better the omnibus is. But I designed a boss cover for that Red Lanterns custom bound book. So I'm keeping that.
Does Red Lanterns, does it follow like one or two characters, or does it follow like the whole Red Lantern core? Like, I know very little about that run other than I know what the Red Lanterns are. I just don't know what the whole premise of the series is, I guess.
It covers a lot of Red Lanterns, and Guy Gardner becomes a Red Lantern, and
oh wow, okay,
and
that works.
And there's Bleeze in it, who's one of my favorite characters. She had wings, but they're just like skeleton bones now. It covers a lot of the characters, and it's really, really good. I really love that book.
I'm really looking forward to the Nightwing New 52 Omnibus reprint. I missed that last time. That run by Kyle Higgins, I think.
Right.
I've read like the first half of it, loved it, never finished it. I just didn't get to the other volumes. So I think that's when I'm gonna. I think that's what I'm gonna try to grab this next year if I can. Because I really like that.
People are gonna want that because it's been out of print for so long.
Yeah, and Kyle Higgins, I know he's been really popular with he had a really good, I think, Power Rangers run I heard from people, or like Radiant Black. I know a lot of more people are I remember I showcased the first trade of that Nightwing run, and I was kind of telling people like, hey, you might like him from Radiant Black. Did you know he did Nightwing? And, I think a lot of people who maybe came onto comics after the fact, a lot of people glossed over that run. But it's fun. I liked it, what I read of it. But
Dom produces more creative lists than I could ever even come up with. More compliments pouring in for you.
Woo. Well, thank you, Jake or Jordan. Probably Jake.
I think it's Jake. My favorite animated Supergirl is the DCAU and Superman the Animated Series and in Justice League Unlimited. I think those will be the next things I watch.
Great shows.
Braven Boys asking to clarify whether they already restocked it. That must be a Daredevil question. Oh, here's our buddy Illuminati.
Tyler.
What up, dude? Good to see you. I'm jumping my January buys to pre-order ASM Volume 6. Probably heard this 100 times tonight. There are two Doms. This is Dom from the Comic Book Report, and then there is Dom of X. Yes, there are two different ones. Dom
of X is super rad. High recommend for him. His stuff on Near Mint Condition, his own channel, super cool guy. He also does a bunch of I don't know if it's reading order. He does all these lists too that are super helpful. Anyway, he's great.
I love Dom. I love having him as a guest, and he's so knowledgeable. He has knowledge from the golden age up till now because he's been dipping back into early silver age and golden age, and he remembers it all. And he will remember the artists and stuff from every possible book. And it's always great to have him as a guest. I love having him as a guest on the show.
That's awesome.
Oh, here's Bob. What up, Bob? Good to see you. Zdarsky just went out on print. I have no info on a restock, but it's Daredevil, LOL. It will come back.
I'm counting on that for the Charles Soule omnibus. I have that whole run in paperback, and I missed the Omni. So
yeah, that's out of print too. Yeah, that needs a reprint.
I also missed the Marvel Knights omnibus, which I don't think is technically a Daredevil omnibus, but it's not a Daredevil omnibus. But that's another one I'd like to get if I could.
Yeah, I think that one's out of print too. The cover always looks to me like Daredevil and Spider-Man are fishing.
Yeah,
it's
I like it.
Yeah. But yeah, that's out of print. Bunk says everyone's out here praising Dom's shorts game. Meanwhile, glossing over the fact that Dom is the king of community engagement. No one uses that community tab like him.
That honestly is such a cool compliment. I think that when that community tab came out, kind of like the vertical live streams, when YouTube rolls out something, I always like to try it. And that community tab I thought was so fun. And I discovered you could schedule ahead the your posts. And so I actually just did it 2 weeks ago after I was putting my kids to bed. I'm like, okay, I'll batch out the next 3 months of questions. And then every morning at 5 a.m. Pacific, it just rolls out a new question or a new poll or something. And it's a great way to kind of keep the pulse of who's watching and stuff. Cause it's great to see, sometimes I'll ask things about the channel. A lot of times I'll ask what is your opinion on this? Or, it's a cool way to get to know people. And I think I see a lot of people engaging with each other in the post, not even with me. And I love seeing that. I love when people are recommending or talking about something they enjoy. And I'm not even involved. I think that's the coolest thing. So I love hearing that, Bunk. Thank you. That is really cool. That's really, really
that
cool.
is a good compliment. I only use my community tab to do I think I did a poll on what color my hair should be when I dyed it when I hit
That's a good poll,
8,000.
though.
And then just my schedule, but it sounds like you can make it a lot more interesting. I'll have to try and make mine more interesting without obviously stealing from you. So I will try to make my community tab more interesting because, excuse me, I love the sound of community engagement of your fans.
And you have such a great community, especially with all your live stream and how you engage, that I'm sure that community tab would light up. You know,
It's
and
a
for
good-
me, I'm
yeah.
not saying you do it this way, but for me, like, it's kind of a headache to set up. But if I give like an hour and a half to it, I could get a couple months worth and just not even think about it, you know? And it's also kind of a surprise for me because I don't know what question's going to come out on a given day. So like I said, like that Aquaman question the other day, I didn't know what was even happening. And it was just, I had like all these notifications and it made me really laugh. I was like, oh, that was the question today. Okay. But yeah. And you're
Sorry.
welcome to steal anything. Like to me, like, I'm not saying this is everyone's YouTube philosophy. So, you know, but I'm like, people have done comic book review videos before me. People have done list videos before me. People have used these features before me and long after me. People are probably going to do it better. I love seeing what everyone does. Like, you know, when I do like a list of something, like here's my top 5, whatever, I sometimes think like, what are your favorites? Like, I'd love if more people just like took it and ran, because I think that people are going to do it so many different ways. Or like, hey, if you did my video, but with way better production value, I'm still your target demographic. Like, I'd love to see that. I'd love to see what people run with, but I don't know. It's a cool community.
Yeah, it sounds great. And maybe I should ask my Discord for some input. They're pretty good at telling me what they want to see and what they'd like to see in the future. But I like the idea of just doing a just random community tab stuff besides my dumb schedule, which people seem to actually really want. And so I take it back. It's not dumb, but I agree, Bunk. Illuminati there. NFL dude, if you focus on shorts, YouTube will push those to the shorts audience. If you're already focused on long form uploads or streaming, then shorts won't have any benefit for long-term followers. Well, okay, good. Something I don't have to do. That's I don't want to do anything anyway. Oh, the missus is out with the girls. It's me and Marvel Rivals tonight. The big thing that Dom of X is playing all the time.
I've heard a lot of buzz for that. I'm you know, haven't gotten into that myself, but I've heard good things.
Illuminati, who's your go-to character Marvel Rivals? Haven't tried it out yet, but I've heard it's a lot of fun. Dom of X plays it a lot and loves it. I just checked. They picked and scanned mine. That must be Daredevil. Up, comics are dope. Facts. No one uses the community tab like Dom.
What's up, BJ? I'm sure everyone here knows comics are dope, but BJ over there, he was one of the first, most welcoming people into the community, and still one of my favorite channels. If there's a chance that you're not subscribing to him, subscribe to him. Just awesome. Love BJ.
Here's a question for you, Dominic. Who is your favorite character to read? If it's Spider-Man, sorry for asking, but I was curious. Thanks.
Yeah, I think I answered this a little bit earlier, but Daredevil's my favorite comic character. I have a couple other favorites, like Batman. I love reading Spider-Man. Silver Surfer is a character that I kind of a late adopter to, but I have loved just about everything I've read with that character. Wolverine, I like the Flash. I like them all. There's not a ton of superheroes I like really dislike. There's some I don't read as much. I'm more Marvel than DC in general for my reading, but I think that those are some of my top tier. But I'll get a shot at anything if it's decent. Usually,
like Sherlock Holmes.
Love Sherlock Holmes. I'm such a sucker for Sherlock Holmes just in general. I'm also a big reader of I mean, not as much since I went into the comic YouTube space, but I used to be a reader of like actual books. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
that might be an inflammatory comment.
No,
Sorry, I know
I'm the
graphic
exact
novels
same.
are also real books, but
I'm the exact
prose,
same.
maybe that's the way to say that. But
That's what happened to me too. So you're not alone.
yeah.
Thank you for the kind words. Oh, in Marvel Rivals, Thor is my go-to so far. I got the 2 standards as well because they match. I think this is another Daredevil. But I also have the OHCs. Now there's commitment. Nice. With my lighting, you still look amazing, just as always. Thank you, Kane. What would I do without you? And I mean that sincerely. Kane is like an anchor in my Discord. Wait, what's out of print? DC versus Marvel Omnis? No way. There's plenty of those. It's Daredevil Volume 2 Illuminati.
From Zdarsky and
From
Concetto.
Yeah, from Zdarsky. Yeah, that's what I said. I said I just appreciate the fact that I'm getting a Daredevil. Send me a bent corner. I don't care. Jaggernaut from the Great White North. Hello, Jess and Dominic and OmniDogs. Wow, we would never send out a damaged book without first confirming with the customer or charging them less from the book. LOL. Yep, JP reached out to me and said I can send this back because apparently he got a bunch of Daredevils Volume 2 that were slightly damaged. And by slightly damaged, I mean they had like a little bit of a ding on the corner, which the community of comic readers needs to start giving retailers a lot more slack, because they get these books in these conditions. And then what are they supposed to do? Especially now with an out of print book like Daredevil 2, you're really going to send them back because you're not going to get anything back if it's out of print. I think that, yeah, like Jake says, you need to confirm with the customer, dude, this is out of print, but this is what I got. You know, if you have to give them a credit of $10 less or something, whatever. But yeah, that's kind of a tricky thing right now with Daredevil Volume 2. If they've all got a little bit of bent corners, I would think customers would appreciate, $10 off and a book that was out of print rather than send it back and get nothing from the distributor. Oh, Robert Reese is back, and so glad the ding on my Daredevil Volume 2 was in acceptable range. Can't imagine having to hunt for that right now, right?
I cannot believe, I know we covered it already, but I cannot believe that that's already out of print. That was less than 2 weeks.
Yeah, I don't know. That's amazing.
It puts the FOMO fear in me a little bit of like, okay, what's coming out this year that I need to, yeah.
Yeah, but I would, like Illuminati said, the Marvel DC combo books, those were the ones that everybody really wanted, and everybody wanted that Jim Lee cover. And I would have thought the Jim Lee cover would have sold out. Daredevil Volume 2 wasn't even on my radar as something that would sell out.
I think because it's been such an in-demand Omni too, that I would have just assumed that they would have bulked that. But I don't know. I guess I don't really have the numbers for any of this stuff, so I have no idea how they make these determinations. But
yeah. I ordered Chip's DD Volume 2 today. I plan on getting it, but it becoming out of print FOMO'd me. Yeah, I don't blame you, Kane. Yeah. If you don't get it now, 2 months from now, it's going to be on eBay for $165 or something.
Yeah. Shouldn't fear the FOMO, but every so often I think about that with my budget. I'm like, okay, what are my priorities? Like, I need to buy the books in order of priority. Otherwise,
yeah. Bob says, I have a lot of OHC as well. I won't get rid of Immortal Hulk OHC. Me either. I love those OHCs. That omnibus is just too big. Yeah, it's like over 1,500 pages.
Well, it's like that Agent Ven omnibus they just announced. Sounds like that's going to be another massive one.
Yeah, I don't even have. I have some of Agent Venom, but not enough. I mean, I'm gonna have to get rid of the trades and get that omnibus.
Yeah, I just bought the first modern epic collection of Agent Venom because it's always a run I've heard a lot of good things about. I like Flash Thompson, and I always thought it looked really cool, but I never had an opportunity to pick it up. And they released that modern epic collection. I was like, okay, I'll try it, and I've enjoyed it so far. But I think now I'm definitely gonna want to wait for the Omni. But
yeah. Let's see. Got my Zdarsky DD Volume 2 today, but wished I got the standard covers instead of the DMs. But just glad I got them. Both. Volume 1 and Volume 2. Yeah, be glad you got Volume 2. And I'm keeping the Daredevil ones because the covers are gorgeous. Same. You're just like me, Bob. Now here's a serious question from Cycle Cleveland. Dom, in a field quickly becoming oversaturated with homogeneous content, what sets your channel apart, and what would you like to see from a comics focused YouTube channel?
okay, that's a great question.
That is a great question.
First of all, thank you. I do understand that it's probably a oversaturated market, but I'm also sort of like the more the merrier, anyone who wants to do it. Because I think for me, at the end of the day, I still consider myself a really small channel, and I got into YouTube just because I really like comic books. I just like reading them. It was a situation that I'm blessed to say I have a lot of great friends and family, but not a one of them enjoys reading comics,
Right.
And I'm passionate about it. I like it. I really enjoy it. And, my close friends and my wife are great at like listening to me as intently as possible, but I want to talk about like random continuity stuff. And as I watch the light drain from their eyes, I kind of realized like I need more of an outlet. And at the time I was looking at Near Mint Condition and actually Gem Mint Collectibles were some of the first channels I ever saw on YouTube, simply because I used YouTube at the time just as kind of a tool. So like I'd want to buy collections I didn't know much about. So I'd just go to YouTube to get someone to talk about the book for a few minutes. Let me see the interiors, decide if I wanted to purchase it. And that's all it was. I never came to YouTube for like entertainment. It was just like movie trailers, product reviews, and every so often like how to do something. That was it. I didn't really stick around for the community or that space. I didn't really, but the more I started to watch things like Near Mint Condition, I'm like, I love this. I really enjoy it. I love that he gets to talk about the books a bit. And so that's how I ended up deciding to make my own, just because I wanted a space to share kind of my interests in the community. And this is a real long wind up to go to your questions. Let me get back to your question, Harvey. What makes my channel set apart? Apparently, I have a great community tab. So, come for the community tab, possibly stay for any of my blathering nonsense outside of that, I guess. Like I said, I've tried to make a couple different inroads. So I do shorts, I do long form, I do a couple different kinds of video types. I do comic book reviews. My comic book reviews, I don't want to say they're unique. Like I said, I haven't reinvented the wheel. There's going to be people doing it before and after me, but I grade the comics. And again, this is wildly subjective and arguably a little bit dangerous, but I do like a letter grading, like school, like an A or A+ for this is like the best, B's. I don't really go into negative. I just won't usually cover books I don't like, I don't know if I've given something below a C mine. No, I gave one thing a D+, but in general, I try to stay pretty positive as well. I try to find things I enjoy in just about everything, so I try to stick away from negativity. I do go into spoilers with some of my reviews. I know not a lot of people do that. That might be controversial, and I totally respect that. I give a spoiler warning at the front. But I do that so I can talk about bits in the book I like, and I know a lot of people do overviews, so they don't want anything spoiled. And I completely respect that. I go for those kind of videos sometimes, but I'll go into the plot a bit more. I feel like not a lot of people do that. So I do that. What else? I don't know. I've gotten compliments about my voice. I don't know that I think I'm the most honeyed, wonderful sound in the world, but some people enjoy that. So if that's you, great. But yeah, I just try to be as welcoming as possible. I share what I'm interested in, and that's kind of it. I don't know. That's my elevator pitch for you. I don't know what makes me completely unique, but maybe some cocktail of all of that.
Yeah.
What would you like to see from a comic focused YouTube channel? I guess generally what I'm trying to do, Like I said, again, I'm also a huge fan of Near Mint Condition, which I don't want to like be too woo-woo, but honestly, like Omar's awesome. I've loved that channel for years. He was super instrumental in me wanting to do this. And then I also had the pleasure to get to know him a little bit virtually, and that's been really great and awesome. And I really love how he does community and how giving of his time he is and generous. And that's something I want to try to be better about in my own channel and my own way. So,
Nice.
Yeah.
Good answer.
I tried.
Nicely done. Yeah, you nailed it.
Woo.
VFC Marvel is going to try to bring the OHC slowly. The first one is Blood Hunt Red Band OHC. The book Dom of X told me was never coming out, so I bought the Fakakta floppies, and now I don't even want them because now there's going to be a Red Band OHC. Not that I'm blaming Dom on it. His information was bad that he got from this contact.
Aren't they also doing a Blood Hunt omnibus? Are they going to have the Red Band stuff in that, or is this separate?
That's a good question, Dom. Do you have it from somebody, Dom of X? Do you have it from somebody you can trust about the Blood Hunt omnibus? Will it have Red Band in it? I'm definitely getting this Blood Hunt Red Band OHC. Even if it's in the omnibus, I want an OHC just because I love their OHCs. It's kind of a sickness. I dig the OHC format from Marvel, so this is really good.
And forgive me, I'm assuming I know what this is, but the Red Band, does that mean it's just added scenes of violence or
it's super violent? Yeah. Okay. I don't think there's anything else but just violent. It's the same story, but it's actually got extra content, and I believe it's told in a different way with added violence in it compared to the regular Blood Hunt stories. So this is if you get the Blood Hunt just say there's like a Blood Hunt OHC and then a Blood Hunt Red Band OHC, those will be two different books.
Wow.
It'll basically be the same stories, but reworked into being more violent and some extra content in there. I think they may even go like 4 or 5 pages longer than the regular Blood Hunt books.
It's kind of like an unrated director's cut. I know I used to get the DVDs or Blu-rays, like, oh, wait for the unrated director's cut that has all the,
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. I only have 10 random OHCs, half of them in the JS Spider-Man run because they don't skip issues. I kept my JMS OHCs too, Mr. Tex. I agree with that. I've been buying up some OHC now that people are less interested. Cheap on eBay. Good for you, Bob. Oh, okay. Nicely done. Hawkeye OHC were less than $10 each.
Wow. I'm assuming that's Matt Fraction or
in the Matt Fraction omnibus or the Jeff Lemire one.
Oh, I forgot about Jeff Lemire.
Yeah, you know what you should get, Bob, if you can find it, is the Moon Knight by Jeff Lemire. Well, that came out. Well, that immediately sold out. And then the complete collection came out, and that immediately sold out too. That's one of my favorite Moon Knight books, and it's just an OHC. I wonder what it's like on eBay.
I think the trade paperback that collects all of Lemire's run might still be in print. I picked one up.
Okay.
Well, I picked one up the end of, I guess that was the end of 2023 now. So maybe it's not, but that was a great run. It had was it 12 issues, 14 issues? I don't remember. But I
really liked it. Yeah, I need to reread that.
That had art from Greg Smallwood, I think. And
he is so great.
Yeah, awesome.
He killed it in Tom King's Human Target. His artwork was crazy good.
That's a series I've started that I have got to finish. I started that digitally, and I love Tom King, and that's one I just haven't picked up, and I need to. I subscribed to like some digital comics reading thing for like a month, so I started reading it, and then my membership expired. I'm like, I just got to get the book.
Spoiler alert. That book I read in 2024. I think it came out in 2023, but I only got to it in 2024. It's going to be one of my top books of 2024. That book just rocked my world. I thought it was one of the best things Tom King has written. It was just solid.
Yeah, that art
And
is amazing too.
yeah, and you're welcome that I bought it in standard hardcover, because now you'll get a deluxe. You are welcome.
I think at this point that might be what I'm waiting for, because I think
Yeah,
I've like
I
missed the
think you
boat of when
should.
it's first coming out, and I'm thinking,
Yeah, I think you should, and I think you should wait on Detective Comics by Rom V, because I'm almost positive that's getting an omnibus. He dropped that in hint about that in Dama Vex's interview with him. So that's apparently a great detective. I'm far behind on Batman, so I haven't read it yet. But you're welcome for that too, because I bought all the standard hardcovers.
I have not read that Detective Comics run, but I've heard overall good things. The biggest criticism I've heard of that run is simply that it's kind of a slower burn that takes a while to get there. And I'm like, man, if you have it all collected though in an omnibus or something, that's probably the way to do it. I would definitely be interested.
Yeah.
I haven't read a ton of Ram V, but everything I have read from him I've really liked. So I'm definitely interested.
Slow burn doesn't bother me as long as if it's slow burn all the way through. Yeah, no, I'm not going to dig that. But slow burn building up to something, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, especially if I have it all collected, it is hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure the people that buy these month to month and the floppies, it's probably a pain to have feeling like nothing's happening for a little bit,
Yeah.
even if it's like building, but I don't know.
Yeah. Jean Remy is here. Hello, hello. A bit late, but hopefully I haven't missed too much. I think you're fine. We've only been on for an hour and a half. We talked about you behind your back. No, we didn't, John. It's okay.
Daredevil Omnibus by Zdarsky Volume 2 is sold out, and you're kind of caught up. That was like a good amount, I think.
That's the big stuff that we talked about. Omar posted on his Patronus Patreon that Marvel is going back to having OHC lines after the consumer anger was so strong when they stopped OHC. He did say that thin sale margins were why they stopped. Yeah.
I'm sure that drives everything, but
yeah,
it's a great format.
My OHCs are for stuff I can't justify getting an omnibus. The Secret Wars Hickman one, OHC is a better option than the omnibus when I also own both Hickman Avenger omnibus and Avenger volumes. Yeah, I'm keeping my Secret Wars and Secret Wars companion. Yeah, I agree with that. Is that Daredevil Soul Omni worth the pickup? I haven't read it yet. I've heard positive things about it, and apparently the TV show on Disney Plus that's coming out is based on a lot of stuff out of that book, which tells me it's very good. I mean, they wouldn't pick crappy stuff, but I have heard this is a good book. I need to read it so then I can get caught up on Zdarsky. So as soon as I get the Zdarsky Omni, I will definitely crack open that Soul Omni.
For a second opinion on that, I'll say I don't have the Soul Omni, but I have all, I don't know, 10 volumes or so of the paperback. So I have the run in paperback. I've read it all.
Oh,
something I would say, I think it's a great modern Daredevil run, but I think Daredevil has been spoiled by some of the most consistently great writing in the last 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
So I think for me, like, it might not be in my top 5 Daredevil runs, but that doesn't mean it's a bad book at all. I thought it still had some great moments. Some things I will say about it is maybe take a look at some of the art. I think the art is really cool, but it's quite a bit more stylized than some of the other Daredevils I've seen. So the kind of aesthetic of it is just a little different. And again, I like a good stylized art piece, but there are some collectors that get thrown off by that. So I'd maybe say look before you leap. And then for me, again, I'm a huge Daredevil fan, and I'm still waiting for an omnibus reprint, hopefully, just to try to get it at a better price. But to each their own,
The artwork in the Charles Soule She-Hulk it is very different. Have you read that?
I have not. She-Hulk is a character. I just started reading the Dan Slott run, but I don't own any She-Hulk. But that's a character I've been curious about.
Yeah, it's stylized to the max. That
Really?
it's good writing, but The art, I think they just decided to take a chance with the art, and I think that some people may like it, some people may not, but it's very different.
Yeah. I can grab a Soul paperback if you want to see a snippet of the art if you want. I would just have to leave my console here, but
Oh my, wait a minute. I'm an hour behind in comments.
uh-oh.
Okay.
Never mind. Keep it going.
I'm going to go to the bottom and work my way back up. Oh my gosh. Revival is great. Yes, you're right. Dom, what do you think about the Saladin Ahmed run on DD?
Haven't read it yet. I'm up to the end of Zdarsky now. I still have to check that out. I don't know at this point if I'm waiting for an omnibus or a hardcover or if I will dabble, but I haven't got to it yet. I did read Ahmed's Miles Morales run recently. I really liked that.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
What are you gonna go get? Paperbacks.
I was saying I can grab a paperback of the Charles Soule Daredevil run if someone wants to see a look real quick.
Why don't you do that, and I'll go to the an hour down here. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. No Concept says read. Oh, I ordered this. Actually, I have an unboxing I can do tonight because I pretty much read it. Read The One Hand and the Six Fingers by Romvi and Dan Waters. Really good. Reminded me of Blade Runner. Okay, let's highlight. This is the Charles Soule.
So I like this art style. I'm trying to make sure we don't get any spoilers, but like the whole run is kind of like this. I think it's beautiful. It's really cool. It does a lot with black, white, and red throughout a lot of this run.
Yeah. This doesn't bother me at all.
Some differences, but this is, I think, a little closer to what I'm used to. But it's just kind of a heads up because I think, like, visually, it is just a bit different than a lot of what you've seen. And it delves into some kind of like mystical aspects of some of Daredevil's villains. They introduce a lot of new characters too. But I liked it. I thought it was fun.
Awesome. Here's next Imaginaut at 925. Comics Report. If I'm not mistaken, the Soul DD Omni made it into the top 24, top 25. Sorry, the 2024 top 25 reprint poll, which, if so, would already sync for a reprint late 2025, early 2026.
I'm here for it if that's the case, for sure. I would definitely like to upgrade that. I mean, the paperbacks are great. Like I said, I have the whole run, but I would definitely upgrade if I have the chance.
Only read up to volume 3 of Romvi's Tech, and yeah, it definitely reads much better collected than monthly. I bet it does. Here's Safar. Thank you for the super chat.
Woo!
Hi, Jess and Dom. I recently read Paul Jenkins' Sidekick. Loved it. I did too, Safar. Any similar recommendations? Have you read this book?
I'm not familiar with this. No, I'm actually not even familiar with the creator, but I'm always down for a good recommendation.
Yeah, Sidekick is great. It's comedic. I'll have to look at it and go over it again, Safar. I'm sure I can come up with similar recommendations. Thank you for the super chat. But I read Sidekick probably 5 years ago, but I kept it, which means I liked it. So let me go over it, and I will find something else to recommend to you. Let's see. Oh, and DD by Soul is a banger, and Zdarsky pulled so much from it too. That's good. Matt D, thanks for the heads up about Daredevil. Literally just ordered it. Still available in Canada. Slow burn, but worth it. Eric Garza, good to see you. But I've been reading the hardcovers. Okay. Noir Wolf, good to see you. I need to read that. Oh my gosh, you sure do. That Human Target was crazy good. Okay, somebody talking to coming in. Where's Roman? Ahmed's DD has been so disappointing it hurts my soul. Oh, okay.
That's not a review you like.
No.
I feel like Daredevil has to be so hard, though, because like I said, there's been so many winners across the last 20, 30 years that, but
Javier Polito is an amazing artist. His She-Hulk arc is great. He really took heavy inspiration from Mazzucchelli while not being a complete traced copycat. His recent Ninjak from 21 was refreshing. That is the artist from the She-Hulk run that Charles Scholl does.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't read a lot of She-Hulk.
In a weird twist, I think you'll like Dan Slott's She-Hulk. I really liked it a lot.
I enjoyed what I read of it. I liked that it was kind of weirdly procedural. I liked that it was a little bit quirky, you know?
Yeah. And then Rainbow Rowell's She-Hulk, I bought the trade, so you're welcome from the omnibus, because I think it's been popular. It's like slice of life She-Hulk stuff, and it's really good.
I am a really big fan of the Marvel Universe, but I find that I really like when a run takes a swing that's like quite a bit different. Like Matt Fraction's Hawkeye or The Black Cat by Jed McKay, you mentioned. Like, let's have a kind of vigilante-ish book, but it's really a heist book. Like, I love that, you know? Or
Yeah.
Zdarsky did a run on Howard the Duck that I'm a huge fan of. You know, like,
Yep.
I like Marvel Universe, and I like when every so often someone comes in and is quirky with it. A book that I've been dying to read, but the omnibus is out of print, is the Superior Foes of Spider-Man. I've heard that it's a really good run, and I think I'm going to like it for the same vibe, but I haven't had an opportunity to pick that one up yet.
Well, yeah, that's been out of print for 5 years at least.
I hope that's one that gets a reprint. I would jump on that. I know it's a smaller collection, but I would jump on that real fast.
It was only like $49 when it came out, and it is so good. It's crazy good.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what Harvey has to say here. In a weird twist, I find people who don't actually review things they don't like are completely okay with crapping on things they don't like whenever books they don't like are brought up. I'm not sure I followed that completely, but Harvey, I'm glad you feel that way.
If I'm interpreting that correctly, is he saying, like, let's say on a channel, I'm not going to review something I don't like, but in a live stream like this, if it comes up, I might be like, well, that's a huge piece of crap. You know, I don't know if that's what he's saying. Like, they might not review it for that reason, but then if it ever comes up, they'll bag on it. Maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's how I interpret that, but I don't know.
Okay. I hope we get a Superman Family Adventures omnibus. Oh, and Bronze Age Supergirl omnibus soon. Plus her pre-new 52 Supergirl Girl of Steel run in omnibus format. Those stories from 2005, 2011 are amazing. I agree with that. And I would love to see Bronze Age Supergirl. Yes, I would love to see that. I'm working my way back up because apparently I was on we've been talking so much that I lost track of where it was. Okay.
I'll take partial responsibility for that. My bad, collectively.
No, that's fine. I want people to get to know you. Isn't the Daredevil show going to be based on Born Again by Frank Miller? The show is called Daredevil Born Again. But I think the last Netflix season was already based on Born Again, so the Disney Plus version will only be named that way, but it will be different.
Yeah.
Okay, good. We're learning a lot. I honestly, AS, how you doing? I honestly didn't see much difference between Wolverine Revenge, Red Band, and regular. Okay. Johnny from Finland. Okay, now subscribe to the Comic Book Report. Can't remember who these two suggested I should also subscribe to, though.
Comics Are Dope was one of them. Maybe
Illuminati, yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, all those channels are great.
Comics Are Dope. I think he's already subscribed to the Brave and the Boys.
Omnibuddy. Throw some people at Mitch, especially if you like indie. Great books there. You know,
Aussieverse, that's fun. I'm gonna have the Aussieverse guys on this month, and they are all a blast. Oh, and Comics Are Dope has this to say: the Red Band stuff doesn't go that much farther. There's maybe 2 pages of extra content, and some of the panels are bloodier. Okay, that's cool. Dom's positivity combined with a peace and love is undefeated. Right on.
Wow. All right. I'll take it.
Comics are dope. Tom Brevoort directly said the only way to get Red Band stuff would be the floppies, and that they would only get one printing. Then they just backtracked on both. Freaking frick. What am I going to do with those dumb floppies now? I'm not even going to read them.
It's like when people tell me that the DC versus Marvel omnibus is only getting one printing.
Yeah.
Like, we'll see. Never say never with comics is my biggest thing I've learned. Never say never.
Right. Hearing Dominick talk about being positive, talking to the king of being positive, Jez, is great to see. Keep being good guys, shining a light in a dark world. Peace and love. Have to go, guys. Thank you for being here, Matt. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. I love that. Oh, that's great.
And
it kind of surprised me, the balloons.
Good to see Marcelo. Let's see. Think it depends. I'm probably sticking with the modern epics for Age and Venom. I wanted an omnibus, but 1,400 pages are not for me. Oh, I know what you're saying, but I'm okay with big honking books. As much as I love my OHCs, I've got Justice League Dark Rebirth waiting for me to finish, and that thing's a beast.
I think my biggest books are not as big as these ones, but probably Unbeatable Squirrel Girl or Avengers versus X-Men.
Unbeatable Squirrel Girl is freaking huge.
No, it's gigantic. That book is. I'm still reading it. I'm still making my way through.
I need to. Yeah, I was going to read that with Kristen, but then she ended up having a baby, an adorable baby, and I don't know when our read through will be now.
I will say with that series, I really enjoyed it so far for the reasons I mentioned. Where like I like my Marvel universe. Every so often they throw in something a bit different. It's definitely like a different demographic, but I like it. But the biggest thing, and it's super cool, but like almost every issue you have like your main panels of everything happening, but then there's like an editorial little like line on the bottom of each page of an issue that's almost like the creator talking to you, like kind of breaking the fourth wall. And it's great, but it slows down my reading so much. And you don't think it would, but it's like every time I do all the panel, then it's like, okay, I got to stop. And sometimes it's related to what's on the panels, and sometimes it's kind of, I don't know, like stream of consciousness, whatever. Anyway, it's unique, but I feel like it takes a while to read.
No, I'm not going to be playing Marvel Rivals and become the best capital G gamer of all time. There is a game that Max has played, and I think a lot of you out there have played. And I have a ridiculous stack of shame of video games. It's like that. It's like 6 years old, and I couldn't wait to get them all, and I still get them, and I just don't play them. They're Midnight Suns, Marvel's Midnight Suns, and you can play as Magic in some of the parts. I would like. I'm not good at fighting games or car. I forget how Midnight Suns works. I don't think I'm good at the format. I don't know if it's card based or whatever it is. I just want to play as Magic, so that's why I want to get Midnight Suns. You're welcome about the lighting, and thank you for the kind words. Of course, your Discord is amazing, and I love being part of it. We love having you there. Yes and no on damaged books. I can understand if people are upset given how expensive these books are. That's true, and it depends on how damaged it is. Omnis are $2 to $2.50 for me here in Australia. So if there's a ding on it, I'm definitely getting a replacement or refund, regardless of availability. Well, if they're that expensive, I get it. It is awesome to see so many great creators, Bunk, BJ, Jake, Illuminati, on the stream watching and supporting both of you. That is true.
I'm genuinely touched by that. All the jabronis coming out.
Right. Brown Mist. Hey guys, Jess, I watched all of your videos on Rebirth and they were awesome. Love the more in-depth long form stuff you do. Thank you. Somebody, and I haven't heard back from them. Somebody, where's that book? Right here. Somebody watched my Rebirth video, and they had questions about Detective Comics, because he read Tiny Onion's Detective, the Batman family kind of book, and then he got lost in the Tomasi stuff. Then he's like, wait, what's happening in Joker War? But he got lost mostly because of Black Lightning. And Black Lightning shows up in Detective Comics Volume 1 by Brian Hill, which is just lightly out of print. I got it from Half Price Books. But this is where the Black Lightning arc starts. And he said, and then after the Black Lightning arc, it doesn't even get addressed, goes on to something else. And that's because this Black Lightning run continues into Batman and the Outsiders. So I answered that question, but I haven't heard back from him. But I like that he asked the question because I forgot about this. I knew about Batman and the Outsiders, and I thought, but something leads into it, and I can't remember what. And it's this. There was just one volume between Tiny Onions and Tomasi's run, and it was this that pivots out to Batman and the Outsiders. So I could see why he was confused. So I hope that helped the guy. I went to a lot of trouble, so that guy better say thank you. That's all I'm saying. Comics are dope. I'm going to do a top 5 Dominick lists. Your favorite lists from Dominick. Great idea.
Thanks, BJ.
And I wish we could get BJ to do the video idea, the alter ego of him that he came up with. I think that would be epic, but it's up to him. I do wish YouTube did a better job notifying you when someone posts a new post in the community tab. Do they not notify you?
I don't think they, I mean, I guess I don't really know. I don't think they notify you. It'll show up in your like subscription feed sometimes. I've pulled subscribers though just from community tabs, so I know that it also gets out somehow.
Yeah. Well, but I put my January calendar up, and Batmantha from New Zealand said it's because of these types of posts. I remember I'm scheduled to be a guest. She's going to be a guest later this month, and I thought that was funny. She had forgotten, and because so they do go out, and people are notified. Otherwise, Batmantha wouldn't have gotten it. The report. Smothery Lion, late start, Jess. Can I get a snack report? This is from an IG post I did on Thursday. I said I would get better at posting on social media, and I think I have. Do I have the picture on my desktop? What's this? Yeah, there's the picture. Okay, wait. I can. Okay, that's preview. I can open it. Wait, let me get rid of this. I can share with you what he's talking about. It snowed 9 inches here Sunday, and for Virginia, that's a lot. But it's been cold enough that the snow has stayed. None of it has melted. We got another inch last night. So on Thursday, my wife's best friend, her husband was out of town for a few days, so she came to spend the night, a couple nights here. And Thursday we were supposed to go to the National Gallery of Art to see the Impressionist painting exhibit.
Oh wow!
And I went out to do something in the morning, like at 8 a.m. and I came back and I said, it is really cold today. There were like 30-mile-an-hour gusts. Wind chill was like 11, and we just sat down and said, how about we don't go, build a fire, watch movies all day, and let's send Jess for snacks. And I said, okay, that sounds good. So I got a list from my wife. The list was like, we were going to do grilled cheese sandwiches and tomato soup, which is what the three of us all grew up on. So I needed to get bread and cheese. And then milk for the hot chocolate that I got. And what else was on the list? Various kinds of popcorn. They wanted kettle corn, and they wanted this fudge drizzle popcorn that was there. That was pretty much the list. So to say I went off script is kind of an understatement. Here's what I ended up coming back with.
Oh, I can't wait to see this. Holy crap.
How
many different kinds of Pop-Tarts are in there?
Just two kinds of Pop-Tarts. I like frosted. They didn't have frosted cherry, which made me upset.
Oh,
they had
that's a good one.
frosted strawberry and frosted blueberry. Then we got those Tate's chocolate chip cookies, which are so good.
Oh,
I
man.
love Honey Made graham crackers. My wife loves Skippy. And here is the milk. I wanted Cape Cod crunchy chips, and then here's all the fudge drizzle popcorn. Here's
You're
the
making
kettle
me hungry, Jess.
corn. Here's the bread behind it for the sandwiches. My wife loves peanut butter on apple, cinnamon, those coaster things. Those dry snacks, the discs. I forget what they're called.
Right.
Here's the cheese for the grilled cheese sandwiches, marshmallows. I went off script and got 5 different kinds of ice cream.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I just came in and dropped the bags, and I said mistakes were made. And I did not show my wife the receipt. It was ridiculous. The only thing even remotely healthy was the tomato soup, and I don't even know if that can be considered healthy.
Oh, man. What's your go-to ice cream preference?
Well, they were out of it. Great question, Dominic. They were out of it, and they're always out of it because it's the best flavor. It's Ben and Jerry's vanilla caramel fudge, and they're always out of it. And I said,
sounds so good.
No, it is so good. It's amazing. So I just got like 5 runner-ups, and I said, it'll taste good. I don't care.
Sure.
But I mean, I was sober. I wasn't high. I didn't do any. This is what happens when you send me to the grocery store with like no parameters. They were like, yeah, today's just a do whatever you want day. And I said, I'm your man for that. So this is what I got. And so the snack report is still plenty of Pop-Tarts, still plenty of popcorn. Chips are gone. There's one thing of ice cream left. Soup's gone. Marshmallows and hot chocolate are gone. Let's see. Chocolate chip cookies, we still have some. Graham crackers are still untouched. And I do know where they are. And I have a feeling right after this, I may go introduce myself to them because I love graham crackers. So let me see what people have to say about this down at the bottom. Oh, they're not saying anything. Okay, well, fine.
May I add one more thing before we get off of this? My favorite
Yeah.
part of this whole thing, and it's actually something I really enjoy, but I feel like no one ever does it. I like the fact that you started this by saying there was a ton of snow and it was freezing cold, and you went ice cream. Like, I do that quite a bit. Like, if it's really cold out, I'm down still for ice cream, but I feel like it's a swing that not everyone goes. But I really enjoyed that, and I like that it was off script on a freezing cold night, cold enough that you avoided your outdoor plans and thought, let's do five cartons of ice cream.
Yeah, the stick of butter there is for the grilled cheese sandwiches. Yeah. Which my wife made, and I forgot how good a grilled cheese sandwich my wife can make. Whoa. Sadly, canned soup has so much sodium in them, even for the serving size. Even though I love Campbell's soup, I've elected making my own to control the sodium. That's fair. They had a low sodium version, and I said, forget it. I want the soup I grew up on, fully, that's what the milk was for too, for the Campbell's soup. I just want tomato soup, no healthy harvest, low sodium, whatever. But I get what you're saying, Kane. Looking at the snack report, Hall just may not have been high or anything, but could he be pregnant? Yeah. So yeah, this was. I haven't gone back on IG to see what anybody said, but yeah, this is what I got.
That's phenomenal.
I had a blast, and this is me on restraint. There were so many other things I wanted to get. When I got to Pop-Tarts, I was like, oh, wait a sec. They're on sale. Shouldn't I be getting this, and this? And that's in the cereal aisle. And I said, I'm getting milk. I haven't had cereal in such a long time. Wouldn't Cinnamon Toast Crunch be great today? So I did. I mean, I did very well. This is me on restraint. You can't believe how much ice cream I got. Dude, it's my favorite food. That will be my last meal on earth. Ben and Jerry's vanilla caramel fudge. Yeah. When I go hard. Yes, you bet. But anyway, we ended up having a blast of a day. We saw Knives Out, Glass Onion, which I hadn't seen yet.
That's a good one.
It was really good. Let's see. Now I'm trying to think. We saw 3 really good movies. Oh, we saw Talladega Nights, the story of Ricky Bobby, which was freaking fantastic. And then my wife had never seen Galaxy Quest. So we watched Galaxy Quest.
I just rewatched that like a month or 2 ago for the first time in probably a decade. That movie really holds up.
It is so good. It is so good.
I actually became a Star Trek fan between when I first watched it and now. So rewatching it was way more gratifying.
Yeah. You see what a satire it is.
Oh, it's brilliant.
And it's the acting. Everybody does such a good job in that movie.
I love Alan Rickman. And he was awesome.
Gosh, he was so great. So great. The 5 bags of flavored popcorn plus the 3 boxes of buttered popcorn is inspired stuff. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate that. Inspired. There we go. Well, I've already said what my favorite one is. I don't know. See, AS says the best one's fish food. I do have a pint of fish food in that collection. They and Haagen-Dazs Dulce de Leche, which I love. And then there's fish food, salted caramel. That was the closest I could come to vanilla caramel fudge. And then there was a new one. These 2 middle ones right here. Ben and Jerry's. It's chocolate and banana ice cream. Chocolate and banana ice cream with little teeny Reese's cups in it.
Oh,
that. Whoa, banana ice cream.
I've never had a banana ice cream, but
it was really good. Dude, no, that fish food is great, but vanilla caramel fudge is the best. That's the one you need to try.
I don't know if this is sorry, I interrupted.
No, go ahead.
I don't know if it's controversial. My number 1 ice cream, it doesn't matter the brand. Like number 1 is mint and chip. I'm such a sucker for it.
That's the one thing I can't take is mint flavored anything.
I totally get it. It's not for everyone, but I just love it. I can't. Oh, my whole life, ever since a kid, mint and chip is just that, and then cookies and cream are probably.
Oh yeah, cookies and cream. That's great with big.
And I'm kind of boring. Every so often, a good vanilla. I'll do a vanilla.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Get some fan of fudge or chocolate syrup or something. You know.
Yeah. So people are chiming in. Doc Elevator likes Cherry Garcia. Razor Ramon, Razor Ramen, Americone Dream. That is the best. Mint chip is the best ice cream. See,
right there.
I love mint and chocolate chip ice cream.
All right.
Mint and chip Hive Rise.
I'm not alone. This is fantastic.
No, I'm the one that has the issue. My wife can get mint chip ice cream. She knows it's totally safe for me. Girl Scout cookies. She gets Thin Mints. Never touch them.
Oh, those are my favorite Girl Scout cookies. Possibly predictable.
Yeah, chocolate and mint. Yeah, I bet they're great. Not this guy. Lars loves pistachio. Yeah, pistachio ice cream is great. Sometimes it helps not to go to grocery. That was the issue, Safar. I was starving. I hadn't had anything, and they sent me to get junk food, and I'm like, ugh, okay. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Many halls are triggered by low blood glucose levels. That's what that's what happened to me.
That's how they get you.
Yeah. The ice cream Rebel is really good for those who are watching their sugar levels. It's keto ice cream. Not that I'm doing keto. You know what? I have a spoon and I have access to ice cream. I'll be right back.
All right. I guess I'm up. I'll just talk about it while we're waiting. We talked about Daredevil earlier. This is one of my favorites. Daredevil by Brian Michael Bendis, Omnibus Volume 1. You can finish out his run in the Volume 2, which is getting reprinted, I think, in February or early March. I pre-ordered it, but this is a favorite. You should consider, everyone. Sorry, just fill in the gap for a second.
Good job.
There we go.
Butter pecan is super underrated. Yes.
I've never tried that. I've never tried butter pecan.
I used to love butter pecan from Baskin Robbins. I love the butter pecan from them.
Oh man, I haven't gone to a Baskin Robbins forever.
Oh yeah, they used to have that pralines and cream. Oh, that was so good.
Is Baskin Robbins, were they the 31 flavors? Was that them?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like Baskin Robbins. That's a good one.
And Kane says it is. My dad and I enjoy it. That's the butter pecan. Don't sleep on that Trader Joe's chocolate coconut milk ice cream.
Oh, I haven't had that, but my wife and I go to Trader Joe's often.
Oh, okay. Well, I got salted caramel core, but it needs to get a little softer. So we're gonna let it melt a little bit, and then I will dive in live on ice cream. Yes, that's my show. No concept. Cookie dough ice cream has grown on me more over the years. Yeah, I think cookie dough ice cream was, I feel like was one of those early, not novelty flavors, but I remember cookie dough ice cream being really, really popular early on. And I can see why people like it so much. Carvel chocolate dipped soft serve, 10 out of 10. Carvel ice cream cakes are really good too. What were you going to say?
I don't know how region specific this company is. I'm on the West Coast, but there's this ice cream shop that's like a chain over here called Handles. I don't know if they have them on the East Coast, but
I'm not familiar with it.
It's called Handles, and they have just really good ice cream, and their whole shops are kind of like a walk-up counter, basically.
Okay.
But they're really trendy. They're popping up all over my area, and they draw a lot of like 20s, 30 somethings, but everyone shows up, families. But my favorite thing about it is not only do you have great ice cream that you can get in like cups or your own little pints or on cones, they also will do anything into a milkshake, which I like ice cream a lot, but milkshakes are like the top iteration of that for me.
Milkshakes are proof of God's existence.
They're so good. They're so good. And this place's ice cream is delicious, and they'll mix up to 2 flavors if you want in a milkshake, but it's amazing. And they also give you straws that are like 3 times as thick. So you can get these milkshakes without anything sticking. Anyway, that's like my go-to. Like we go out for ice cream and I'm like, let's go there. I'll get a milkshake. And oh man, they had this one called, what is it called? I don't remember the name of the flavor, but it's basically cookie dough, fudge, and I guess vanilla all mixed together is the flavor. And that, anyway, someone said cookie dough and it reminded me of that. That's one of my, no, you know what? It's Oreo dough. It's Oreo cookie dough and like vanilla.
And do you have that made into a milkshake?
I certainly do, and I'm gonna tell you, it's pretty freaking amazing. They also have a brownie dough ice cream, which is just like cookie dough, but it's little bits of. Oh crap! You're making me hungry now.
Well, hey, I just ran to the freezer to get this. You must have something you can run and get.
Oh, nothing.
Or
great.
if you were Jake, you'd have DoorDash bring you a milkshake. That's the Jake move.
That would be brilliant. Right now, I got my water in here. I'm kind of barricaded, so I think I'll.
Eric Garza, have you ever tried Jenny's ice cream? Yes. As a matter of fact, when we first moved in this house, my wife was out of town and my daughter was over, and we this is how my brain works sometimes. She said we need, because the problem with Jenny's is if we also have a Jenny's ice cream store in town in Old Town Alexandria, so you can go there and get it fresh, but it's so expensive in pints at the grocery store that it's always freezer burned because no one picks it up. They go for the cheaper ice cream. So you can't, I mean, I'm not going to buy an obviously freezer burned pint for $10, which is what Jenny's cost. So my daughter and I went online. This is a year ago, January, I think. I should have made a video out of this. We bought like 10 different Jenny's ice creams, and it was delivered to us from Jenny's. We ordered it over the internet. And Eric, Jenny's is great ice cream. It is really great. AS agrees. Eric agrees with AS. You're making me want to go out in the cold and go to my corner store. Dude,
that's what I'm saying.
It's going to be 15 minutes before I sock into this because it's got to thaw. So you have time.
I love how many people are opting for ice cream when it's cold out. I thought I was alone in this, and I'm so tickled by this.
Please feel free to keep mentioning your favorite ice creams. Oh, wait. Johnny said something that I'm not familiar with here. Just a sec. No, that's next to that. Imagine on. I read that. Jess, have you ever tried A&W root beer Pop-Tarts? I haven't even heard of those, Johnny. Brought some back to Finland one time. Loved them so much. A&W root beer Pop-Tarts. Are they frosted? Are they frosted with like root beer flavored frosting? I love root beer and I love Pop-Tarts. What I should do is toast the Pop-Tarts and put the ice cream on it.
Or like a sandwich.
Yeah, like a Pop-Tart sandwich.
That's how you do it.
Next Imagina has to bounce. Next Imagina, peace and love. Thank you for tuning in. I'll leave that graphic up there as I go back. I'm sure we can get to talking about comics. Oh, here we go. Jess Magic is in Marvel Rivals. Okay. I think Dominick said he was going to do a Twitch Marvel Rivals game so I could see what it was like and see if I could play it. Because some of those turn-based fighting game type things I'm not really good at. Kane, Midnight Suns is a turn-based action RPG with a deck-building mechanic. Okay, I'm already lost. You do get to play as Magic after unlocking her in the main story. I should get back in the game myself. Deck-building mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what that means, Dominick?
My understanding is it's probably going to be like you get like cards to do like the attacks and different things, I'd assume. If I'm reading that correctly.
Okay. So if I'm a fighter, I want there's a card for me, and I want to up my power levels and fighting levels and life levels based on that card.
I don't know if it's like that or like maybe, or same thing with like, okay, this card does like a kick or this does like a punch or like stuff like that. I don't know if it's like that. I've definitely done card-based RPGs before, but that doesn't mean that what I've played is similar to this. But my brother's played Midnight Suns. He likes it, but I don't. RPGs, I'm a mixed bag with up and down.
Yeah. I'm Kane. Go ahead and answer, and I'll get back to you. Kenny has nice words for us. Jess and Dominic, you are for comics. You are for comics, the hope that lifts the light out of darkness. Love all you guys do. I'm going to screen cap that. So
we now cover ice cream. So
yeah.
we're doing it all today.
Yeah. The chat and I always lost everything. The chat knows I usually turn to ice cream eventually.
I love that. That was such a pleasant surprise.
Jess said he was going to read Unbeatable Squirrel Girl Omnibus since 2023. He brought it on. He even bought it on. I did buy it on air. Yeah, it was like $60, which was more than half off. But I was going to read it with Kristen. AVX is officially the biggest with 1680. I kept my oversized hardcovers of that. Second biggest is Blackest Night with 1664. Yoikes.
I mean, it's huge. This thing is like, I haven't even finished it. I read the main event and I've read a couple of the tie-ins, but this thing is like.
Which one is that?
This is Avengers versus X-Men.
Oh yeah,
I've got
it's huge. Just looking at it, the companion and the main series, yeah, it's gigunda.
I do want to finish it though. I hear a lot of people not liking this event, but I actually think it's a pretty fun one.
I remember reading that and enjoying it.
I thought it was great, and I get why people probably don't like it, but I heard like that and Civil War 2. I only heard negative comments. Like I didn't hear one positive thing about them. Yeah, and that always that kind of goads me into wanting to read them because I'm like, I bet I'll find something I like in here. And sure enough, I really like Avengers versus X-Men. Civil War 2 was maybe not my favorite, but it was better than I expected because I just heard so much negative, and I found things in there I enjoyed, and
that's cool.
Yeah.
The perils of Jess reading comments in reverse order. Somehow Dom figured it out. I don't like to be negative is an excuse to not review things they don't like, which is made clear by them crapping on books they hate whenever they are mentioned, basically. It's a cop-out. Okay, I do follow that, Harv. Thanks. And here's comic book report update.
Awesome.
And comics are dope.
All right.
Okay, let's see. Kenny. Oh, I already read that. Sorry, Kenny. Jessica, the first lot of. Oh, I know you made a big toy order. That's right. One of two. Wow. Oh, and at the end of the month, getting my Michael Keaton Batman. Nice. Very cool. I think I'm getting close to where it. Yeah.
We almost caught
up. Sort of.
Okay.
Let's see. Next, imagine Lumin. Oh wait, did I say Illuminati's YouTube? Omnibudy's YouTube. Larry's Library YouTube. It's probably time for me to get Larry back on the show. He's a great guest. So, Omnibuddy, I tried getting on the show, and it was like he thought it was a joke that I was kidding him. I'm like, no, dude, everything's fine between us. He thinks that I don't like him or something, and I asked him on the show, and I think it was for December, and Christmas and his family just got in the way. So, I'll try again to get Omnibuddy. Who knew he was going to be the hardest to get?
I think that this is only my second live stream I've ever been a part of.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I didn't know what I was doing at all. And Jake from Brave and the Boys, he like called me up and he helped me figure out StreamYard and get everything set up. But his caveat was I'd be on his show live as my first ever. So I did one night on his and then yours.
Nice.
It's hard to get the setup. So I'm super honored to be on board. But yeah, this is my second ever.
That's awesome.
Woo. My sophomore effort. Here we go.
And Johnny sub to Comics Are Dope. Nice.
Woo.
OmniDog's IG. There's my Discord. That's very nice. Actually, yeah, Harvey. What are you betting tomorrow? What's your betting scheme for tomorrow's games? Good question, Doc Elevator. No, I realized after a while I was never going to have the guts to bet real money, and my interest in betting phased out. Oh, as I actually feel better for you, Harvey. It was entertaining with your betting, but I'm glad you stopped. Okay, let's see. Saw this. Oh, Barnacle Blake likes bubblegum ice cream. I haven't had that since I was 10.
It's
Seriously?
been a minute.
Bubblegum.
That and like cotton candy ice cream I put in the same category.
Yeah.
Fun, though. I like them.
Get the ice
Crazy,
cream,
like bright pink or bright blue, usually those flavors.
Yeah. Jenny's ice cream. I would have to bounce. I had Brian, welcome. I had some honey ice cream at the state fair that was absolutely bomb.
Oh wow.
Honey ice cream sounds awesome. Awesomely awesome. Dom of X Twitch. Yeah, I want to see him. He hasn't texted me that he's done it yet, but I want to see how that's played. I should watch. I bet there's tons of videos on YouTube about Midnight Suns too, and I can get more of a feeling how that is done. I haven't heard of this one. My favorite Ben & Jerry flavor is impressively fudged.
Is that pretzels and fudge?
Yeah, I would guess pretzels and fudge something.
I feel like that could be good, but I've never really had pretzeled things. Like I expect it to be jagged, which I don't know if that's something I want in my ice cream, but maybe that's not how it's presented. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure myself.
Yeah.
How about a Tate's cookie with Ben & Jerry ice cream Sammy with the all? That's actually not a bad idea. That's actually kind of a good idea. If bringing it back to comics, thank you, Eric. If Zatanna Bring Down the House isn't on your radar, highly recommend the hardcover when it comes out in March. I think you'll dig it. It is way on my radar, Eric. I really, really want it badly. I haven't read any of it, but I heard it's really good.
Do you know who wrote that? I haven't heard anything about that.
I don't. Eric, who wrote that? And who is the artist? Is it a consistent artist through all 6 issues or so? Up. We summoned Bunk. We talking about card games now? We're talking about card-based video games, if you have experience in that. Midnight Suns is basically a board game. It sounds complicated. But if you played any tabletop game, you could figure it out. Yeah, I haven't. Tabletop gaming is, I think, a millennial thing. No. My wife's nephew tried to introduce us to board games, and I think he picked one of the hardest games to play. I can't think of the name of it now. It's you have to buy wheat and logs. You're trying to build...
Settlers of Catan, maybe.
Exactly. I was like, Marcus, I'm so sorry. I just don't understand this. I'm not good at this. And people have said that's not the board game you should start with. There's something easier than Settlers of Catan. But okay, this doesn't dissuade me from Midnight Suns. It's turn-based. You have plenty of time to plan your moves. Ooh, okay, I like that. Just finished Gotham Knights game. Was a ton of fun. Way better than I expected. Oh, that's good to hear. I played as Nightwing and Batgirl. Both were fun. There's Comic Slayer. How you doing? So are we starting Squirrel Girl now? Ooh, it's got those eyes. Well, I mean, yeah, if you want to. Do you have the time?
We can do it together. Shoot, I need to cover ground. I'm not that far. I'm like,
look at that big honker. Yeah.
This thing is crazy too. This is just, I don't know what the page count is on this, but this thing is massive.
Yeah. Let's go on Squirrel Girl. All you need for AVX is the main title. No need for any tie-in. Well, I bought the companion, so I have to read it. Sort of. Maybe. William Mealy saying hi to the awesome comic slayer who is in a comic book. James, what comic book is she in that you sent me? Her full name is used because she's close personal friends with Kyle Starks. And Kyle wrote her in as a character, a main character in this book. And her name's spelled out completely right.
How cool is that? That's awesome.
Yeah. Thanks to Larry's video, I discovered Goodreads app. Noob here. Okay, good. I learned of that from the Comic Slayer. I may have learned about Goodreads from the Comic Slayer too. And then the Minister of Comics got me to use it actually so I could keep track of what I was reading. Oh yeah, this is the Zatanna book. Mariko Tamaki writer, Javi Rodriguez artist, 5-issue DC Black Label mini. I will definitely be picking that up. I loved all the different covers for it too. Catan is great. Okay. Peace and love. Catan is just a classic, but better board games out there. I mean, if you're going to introduce somebody to board games, I would think something easier should be, this is ready to go. I think it's easier to an easier game should be picked. Oh, this is a good sign. Big Herkin fudge core right there. And I have to eat the top with my soup spoon that I just ate.
I love
Gross. Okay. Oh, come to Papa. To what you were saying earlier, Jess, this is about Midnight Suns. To what you were saying earlier, Jess, kinda, you're giving and unlock cards for attack, defense, magic, health, support, etc. They change based on your party. Okay. And the fact that I think Doc said you have time. Where was it? Oh, yeah. Doc said you have plenty of time to plan your moves. Okay, because I will need it. Maybe try Ticket to Ride as a board game to try. You play on a map of the U.S. and you try to buy railroads across the country while other players can block you. Those Not Afraid. That's the Kristen Robertson book where her name is prominently mentioned, like on the first page. And Kyle Starks is writing it. And I think that's pretty boss.
That's awesome. That's so cool.
That is. Okay, I will take this off. Stop screen. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely going for the fudginess right away in this.
I would judge you a little bit if you didn't. This is kind of
this is a good decision. So, what are you reading like right now that you're enjoying?
Really happy you asked that. I wasn't sure what to expect for the live stream, so I tried to be on deck with a couple things I could pull easily.
Oh, good.
What I am currently reading right now, this is like one of my nightly readers, and I am really liking it, is the Conan the Barbarian, like original stuff.
Yeah.
This is the Titan Comics like release they did. That's pretty close to the Marvel one. I understand. I think.
Yeah.
I've never read this material, and I just recently finished the Roy Thomas run on Avengers from the Silver Age, and I know he went from that to this pretty quick after. I liked his Avengers run, and even in like I think one of the introductions for that, he mentions Conan at one point, and this is a figure that's kind of always been around and I've always been curious about. I don't really read things with like sexually explicit or nudity too much. And I know the black and white title has more of that. This seems to be pretty tame so far.
Savage Sword is the one that's a little raunchier.
Yeah, so I'll probably avoid that, but this is like right my speed, and I'm really digging it. Like the whole like sword and sorcery subgenre. I didn't totally know what to expect, but I'm really liking it. Every issue so far has been like a ton of fun.
And it's got that Barry Windsor Smith art in it, early Barry Windsor Smith.
Yeah, I can't believe that. Like when I heard that, I was just really, because again, I'm really uninformed with Conan, and so when I heard that, I was like, oh wow, Barry Windsor Smith. But yeah, it's been awesome. I'm really enjoying it. I'm happy I got to like check out the like first volume. So that's been one I've been reading like almost every night or every couple nights. I'll like read an issue. And then for Christmas, my in-laws got me the Thor by JMS and Gillen, the omnibus.
Your in-laws got you that?
Yeah, so they're fans of doing like send me a wish list, and we send them like wish list of just whatever. But usually, anyway, I was really surprised to get this. I was super stoked, really thankful, obviously. Thor is a character I've never really checked out, and then I jumped into. How did I first get involved with Thor? I had read some of the early Simonson stuff, and I thought that was fine. And then I reviewed the Matt Fraction run for Organic Price Books, and I was like, okay, this character is kind of fun. And so I've dabbled after that a little bit. I've read some of Jason Aaron's, I've read some of the Silver Age stuff, and I like JMS, I like Kieran Gillen, and so I've heard that run's good. So anyway, I got it as a gift, and I've been making my way through that. I've read maybe like 15 or 16 issues of the omnibus, so I'm maybe a third through it. But that's another one I've been reading pretty consistently at night. And then I'm kind of a nightmare, Jess. I don't know if I've talked about this, but I know some people like read like one or two books at a time.
Yeah.
I'm kind of notorious where like my currently reading shelf, I think I have like 14 books or something. Like it's maddening. It's like not super sustainable. Like I have just like this growing, and like these are my like quick grabs too. These aren't even like Squirrel Girl is kind of like in the cold storage, but I'm still kind of reading. This is like active, like I'm still trying to get through. And anyway,
you keep 14 books going at once?
That's like an average. Sometimes it's lower, sometimes it's more. I think that like a truer average is probably like 8, maybe. Right now It's a little extreme because of the holidays and some other stuff I'm doing, but yeah. And like I just get like a pack of 3x5 cards, and I just have bookmarks, and anyway. So sometimes I try to like really stick to it a little more so I can finish things, but it's not uncommon for me to be like this, where I'm like 15 or 16 issues into and I'm just incrementally,
I couldn't keep it all straight. That's pretty interesting.
I try to.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. I couldn't though.
It doesn't always work out, but I think one series though that really fast tracked for me where I couldn't put it down was I read all of the Sixth Gun recently from Cullen Bunn. This is released by Oni Press, but this is I had never really read a ton of Cullen Bunn stuff because I don't also often read a ton of horror comics. I don't dabble in it as much as I used to. And I know Cullen Bunn does a lot of kind of darker, edgier kind of horror books.
Yeah.
But this series just sounded awesome. This is another one I saw Larry's Library. He did like a paperback kind of review recently. Anyway, another great video from him I watched recently. But anyway, I heard about these omnibus editions, and I saw them reviewed by Omar at Near Mint Condition as well. And the series just sounded really great. I'm like, okay, Western horror, dark fantasy. I'm like, that checks a couple boxes that I'm like, it just sounds really great. And it was kind of a cool opportunity to check out Cullen Bunn. And I started reading it, and I was like, this is going to be a problem. And yeah, I burned through the whole series. I read the Shadow Roads, which is kind of a spin-off-y title.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I read it all in like maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks. I couldn't put it down. So yeah, those are some of my like recent reads, current reads. What else am I doing? I got the Death of Wolverine omnibus. I'm going through that a little bit slower, but was really excited to get that. Yeah. Those
I
are some of
love Six Gun.
Oh, it's so good. And I heard they might be bringing it back somehow this year, question mark.
Oh, I love Cullen Bunn's writing. I definitely love. I'm a huge fan of horror books, and he writes horror really well. But
Yeah.
Six Gun, I just
it's
thought was
so
the
good.
perfect marriage of like a Western horror swamp comic, where I love any book where there's like a thinning of the worlds.
Yeah.
You know, where there's a thinness where you can go to the other side, and I just really loved the entire thing and what the Sixth Gun does, you know, when they're all put together, and they've got everything becomes, and the bad guys are so bad and the good guys. I just love that whole book.
It was such a good series. Like I said, I couldn't put it down. I know the main series itself is like 50 issues, I think, and then there's like some mini series and things in there too, but I just devoured it. And it's so, the world is so well like flushed out. The characters are so solid. The art's really fun, and like it just really strikes me as something really like cinematic as well in scope. Like I was telling my brother, he reads like a lot of manga, but he doesn't really go in for comics, but he supports me and is super encouraging. And I was talking to him like, I can't put this book down. And I was telling him, I'm like, if they ever make like a TV series or something on this, like I bet you would love it. Cause it's like, if you don't jump into the comic medium, like this is still such a great, like interesting story, interesting characters. Anyway, so I don't read as much horror, but this one kind of snagged me. And it was really, like you said, a good blending of a couple different little genres there. And
but you know what? Let me write down. I'm going to write down you want advice on Supergirl, and I'm going to look for other Cullen Bunn books that I have almost all his stuff. So I'll look for other things by him to recommend to you, because he's got a lot of solid. Actually, this is a great Jean Remy. It's great. Harrow County is amazing. It's definitely it's very much scary kind of horror ghost story with a girl with special powers and witches. It's really good, and if you don't have it, I think the way to get it is the new volume that came out. That
thing looks so creepy. Like the actual book itself, that collection looks so creepy.
That's the one I would get if I were you. I highly recommend Harrow County. And getting it in that format that it looks like what does it look like? Like a drawer or a box, or
it's so creepy.
It's something. It's some amazing new collection, the way they collected it together. But yeah, that's a great point, Jean Remy. That Harrow County, that's a great Cullen Bunn book.
Yeah. A series I'm considering that's also horror-ish that I'm not sure if I'm going to pull the trigger on or not is Hellboy. That's another series I've read maybe an issue of it, but I've largely like missed it, and I know it's like such a heavy hitter that just, but yeah, those are some of my current reads. Conan is just so fun, you know, and it's nice. Like I've read a lot of more modern books recently, so it's fun to go back to, I think this is the 70s when this was coming out. For a 70s book, it's pretty zippy, you know, and I like it.
Mm-hmm. Lance is here. Good to see you, Lance. Thanks for joining. Oh, okay. You got the new edition. Definitely one of the coolest looking books in my collection. AS supports you with Hellboy. Yeah, you could get that big damn Hellboy or whatever it's called. Let's see. Barnacle Blake, thanks for the heads up. Batgirl New 52 Omni. Been very good, about halfway through it. Yay. I'm glad.
That's another book I gotta finish. That's a Gail Simone omnibus I was able to pick up. Not so much the Wonder Woman yet, but
I know that's crazy that it's sold out already.
Secret Six was super fun. Did you read that this
Oh
year?
yeah, that's going to be one of my books of the year. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Thoroughly.
That's one I burned through. I can't wait for a season. It's number 2. And I think, I don't know if it's controversial, but this is like probably the most beautiful spine I've had on an omnibus in like a while. I thought this was such a cool design.
I agree with that.
I love it. Yeah, that was a super fun book.
Triscotti found Conan by Busiek on me for about 105 euros, including shipping. That's not too bad for an out-of-print Omni. No, not at all. Roy Thomas continues. Actually, Larry would be able to answer this better than I can. Excuse me. His Conan goes for at least 3 volumes, and it's just as strong. It may go 6 volumes. I think Larry can answer this better than I can. Excuse me, because he's more of an expert on older Marvel stuff. Mm-hmm. But all the Roy Thomas Conan stuff is really, really solid, and so's the art.
Yeah.
Savage Tales is not, I mean, it's black and white, and it's not like full nudity and gratuitous violence.
Yeah.
But it is, and I said raunchy, and I kind of take that back. It's really not like that. The stories are really good. There's nothing gratuitous in there. It's just doesn't have to follow it doesn't have to follow the comics code. So maybe the women are more scantily dressed, and it's a little stabby here and there. So
yeah.
But I mean, that's something. Oh, I don't know. Titan has it now, so I don't know if Marvel Unlimited. I guess Marvel Unlimited wouldn't have it now. Well, I did a review on both that and Savage Tales when Titan sent it to me. So, but yeah, it may not be your cup of tea, but
yeah, no, I think that this one is like right at my speed, and it's honestly better than I thought it was going to be, which has made it really fun. I'm really enjoying it. What about you? What have you been reading recently?
Okay, I just got your private chat. That's probably a good idea. I'm in the middle of 5 books. That was one of my when I made my New Year's resolution video with Taylor last week. The first thing I need to do is finish, because unlike you, I mean, this is nothing to you to have 5 books going. I'm
not saying what I'm doing is good, by the way.
No,
I'm not recommending it to people.
It's the way I'm not judging you at all. That's I'm just saying you do it differently than I do. Usually I'm just 1 book at a time, but somehow I'm halfway through Gail Simone's Red Sonja, Superman Triangle Years, Justice League International Volume 1, Justice League Dark Rebirth, and I feel like there's a 5th one. Oh wait, I have it here. The Huston Benson Moon Knight Omni, and I really like all of them. So I really need to I need to get back to 1 at a time and just finish them and get them out there, get them done. So that's what I'm going to try and concentrate on.
That's good. I end up in these weird places, like Squirrel Girl, or like that Moon Knight omnibus is another one that like I've read a couple issues and it's kind of on like I'll pass it sometimes. I'll pick it up, read an issue, but there's like my actively reading and then my inactively reading. But I need to get better at finishing them out. I end up like starting and reading like a dozen issues, and then I know a little bit about each of these runs without, but
yeah,
finish them.
I really like everything that I've read. So I mean, especially Justice League Dark Rebirth. That's one of my favorite books of all time. And now I'm going to have to go back 5 issues so I can get caught up to where I am in the middle of it, which is
that the run that has Wonder Woman? I know there's one that
Magic Wonder Woman.
I was curious about that. I heard like the premise of that run, and I was like, that sounds really fascinating. I haven't read any of that. I've read some of the New 52 one, but I haven't read any of the Rebirth era.
Yeah, New 52 Justice League Dark is good, but Justice League Dark Rebirth is fantastic. It just gets better and better.
Who writes that run? Who was on that?
Tiny Onion wrote the first half, and then Rom V wrote the second half.
Well, there you go. I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, and they both bring their A game.
Dang, man. Yeah, I haven't read that stuff.
The first 4 of Conan's are Roy Thomas.
Cool. Thank you, Larry.
Current Conan's great too. Is that the Jim Zub stuff? That's supposed to be great. Conan is one of the franchise I will one day get into once I catch up with Red Sonja and Vampirella and Judge Dredd and Love and Rockets. Yeah. We're gonna give this a 5-minute warning probably right now. My ice cream's melting, so I need to concentrate on that, of course. Lance struggles reading multiple novels at a time, so I stick to one, but reading multiple comics at a time actually helps me through them faster. Okay. Good night, AS. No Concept reads 2 to 3 at a time. Okay, it works for some people.
What I tell myself, and this is, again, I think this is me trying to justify my wild reading habit. My rationale is I have never been a floppy month-to-month reader, but in my brain, I can simulate a pull list by reading an issue or 2 from each of these books, rather than sitting for a collection. Again, that's how I kind of justify it. And there is this like weird freshness to it where like I don't feel as bogged down in any given book I'm trying to get through, because I'll read an issue or 2 of it, and then I'll jump to like the new shiny one next to it, and then I'll kind of keep doing that. The problem, of course, is finishing, but I think that's ultimately how I end up in these situations. But
Safar, thank you for the super chat. Is Conan the Barbarian by Jim Zub a good introduction to Conan for those who like modern style of writing, or any other rec for new readers? I have the Jim Zub books. They're 3 very thin trades, and I haven't started reading them yet. I would have to look at them. Wait, what was the first thing that I was going to look up for you, Safar? Darn it, I didn't write it down. Conan the Barbarian by Jim Zub. I'll have to take a look at that and see. I have a feeling it is, but I also haven't read it, so I can't. The recommendation for new readers, I think, is what Dominick's reading. It's the beginning of the Bronze Age, but it's highly readable. No problem. Very easy, very fun, lots of action, obviously. And Conan's a great hero with great art. So I would say that's a great introduction. I don't know that I haven't read Jason Aaron's Conan, and it's been a while since I've read Kurt Busiek's Conan. But I think, Busiek's Conan's out of print, I think. So since Titan has started putting these out again, I think that's probably the one you should start with. That's the best introduction for new readers, is Conan Volume 1, I think.
I definitely don't think it's for everyone, especially if you're really more of a modern reader. But I will say again, I think it's a very accessible 70s comic. I know sometimes, like, some of the older books, like, and I'm a fan. I'll go back to Silver Age sometimes, but some older comics have a different narrative flow, different art and stuff. But I really like seeing an earlier Barry Windsor Smith. I think the art's fantastic. The world building's really cool. I think if you like fantasy, it's really fun. And in general, each like story is 1 to 2 issues in length, usually just 1 issue. So you get to feel like you have these little like one-off adventures. I don't know. I dig it. I'm hooked, so I will recommend it. I think it's really fun.
Nice. Cycle yelling. I just reread the single issues of Sunday while my collected edition of it is on the way from Fanta. Am I insane? James says yes. I need to get Sunday from Fantagraphics. That's one of the ones Taylor Talks Comics talked to me about, and said how much he loved it.
What is that about? I don't know anything about that.
Actually, I don't know. Cycle, can you explain what Sunday's about? Last week, Taylor told me about it, and I wrote it down to get. But can you give us an idea of Sunday? He has some pretty. He reads very, very independent comics. So his taste is a little bit different. He Cycle or Harvey can read. He also reads some DC and Marvel, but not much. But yeah, give us an idea of what Sunday's about, Harvey. One of my goals is to read more prose this year. I started the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series in volume 5 of Before the Coffee Gets Cold series. Oh, is this yes to Safar's question that Jim Zub is a good introduction? I thought he was saying that Cycle was insane. Okay, good. Thank you for saying that, James. That's good to know. Larry's Library also loves Elric, as detailed here by Lars. I read one Omni, one trade paperback waiting to pick up the kids at school, and one prose book at a time. Wow.
That's an elegant way to do that. I respect that a lot.
Yeah, I do too. Oh, Sidekick. That's right. Okay, but we already figured out that Conan by Jim Zub is good for you, and we also said the Conan that Dominick is reading is also good for you. So it's Sidekick, and I have a feeling I know right away what I'm going to recommend, but I want to go over Sidekick again because I read it so long ago. I will definitely do that. To be fair, some books are not a good binge, and I enjoy them better in between other books. Like a lot of Silver Age. Yeah, that's a good point. Like that's a lot of Silver Age stuff for anthology series. I read several trades at a time in case I get bored with one or two, but I try to still go back to the one that is a bit more laborious. And then in this case, yeah, DC Finest Golden Age Superman. That's better read an issue at a time. Yeah, I agree. Gita by Frank Thorne is good if you like his Red Sonja art. I do. I like that book a lot. Conan was serialized originally, so I think the stories are fine, just dipping in and out with almost any of the adaptations. But the original Marvel stuff holds a special place for me as an old reader.
It's good. I mean, this is my first time reading it. You know, I'm obviously not of the generation in which it was published either, and still, I think it's great. I mean, I'm so engaged with this thing. It's almost a nightly reader.
I'm really happy that you are. Really happy.
Yeah, it's very, very fun.
Kenny excited for James Gunn Superman. Heck yeah. And Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. I'm also alternating Claremont's X-Men and New Mutants using the Crushing Crisis reading guide and reading through Bronze Age Spider-Man or Marvel Unlimited. On DCUI, I'm reading Early Teen Titans. Wow, you're juggling a lot too, Lance. It can be yes on both if you want. Okay, good. Sunday is a brilliantly told tale probing the existential daily struggles of humanity while being humorous, down to earth, and entertaining, while also not having much happen. And Larry says, like Seinfeld. I want to say it's the graphic novel of 2024, but I read the single issues in 2023, so I don't know how to qualify that.
You can qualify it how you want, I think. I think that's fine. Play through.
Anything I read in 2024 is a 2024 book. But yeah, you and Taylor have both piqued my interest in Sunday. Haven't been to the chat. Just wanted to say y'all are great and fun stream. Thank you, Javier.
Awesome. Thank you.
Did you guys finish watching Creature Commandos? And if so, thoughts?
My subscription of Max lapsed, so I have not watched any of Creature Commandos, unfortunately. But it looks entertaining.
I loved it. I loved it all. It's very much in the vein of as kind of, well, I think it's even more over the top than Harley Quinn. You know, as far as R-rated, I feel like it's R+.
Oh wow.
But it's funny. It is extremely funny. I mean, James Gunn knows how to write comedy, and it's funny. But there's no nudity or anything. But you know, there's a lot of swearing and cartoon simulated coupling up. But and it's super bloody violent, like crazy bloody violent, which doesn't bother me. It makes me laugh. I loved Creature Commandos. I thought it was great. I just really dug it. Talking about Peter Crushy Crisis, he will be live on his YouTube channel. Whoa, at 4 p.m. tomorrow. Hey, I can tune into that. There's no football on for me tomorrow. Nice. Thank you for this. I didn't know he's going to have a stream. Yeah, I'm going to have to write that down. Oh, here's Rosie just jumping to say hi and thanks for the content. I'll catch up in the video tomorrow. Thanks, Rosie. So this is probably a good time for us to end. Appreciate all you viewers that took part in the chat, all you lurkers who were watching. Thank you too. And thank you to Dominick from the Comic Book Report being here. You can find his YouTube channel down below with a link to it. A link to his channel, and he has a lot of shorts and everything else that's out there. And and he's also on Blue Sky.
Oh yeah,
and Instagram.
Yeah.
I should make those. I should make those links too. And here's my Discord. Here's my Blue Sky. Thank you very much, James.
Yeah, and thank you for having me, Jess. I'm super honored to be here. Like I said, this is my second live stream, but it was so much fun, and now I want ice cream and all the things. So thanks again.
I don't know that I can recommend No Man's Land. It's not as strong as the stuff that surrounds it. That's just my opinion. What's the one that came out that Gotham City shoot what's the really, it comes at just after No Man's Land, darn it. Oh no. I you know what, Barnacle Blake, I'm totally wrong. I was thinking of War Games. No Man's Land is good. I so apologize. It's War Games that I don't think is very good. No Man's Land is really good. Yes, get it. There we go. I had a brain lock there. Okay, so yeah, please catch me on Blue Sky, Discord, Instagram, and this is a lie. That is so not true, James. Why would you say that? So please go check out Dominick's channel, the Comic Book Report, which is a fantastic channel, and appreciate all you guys out there. Unfortunately, Peter M. I wonder how Peter M is going to be doing his YouTube show when he just spilled Coke on his keyboard. I'll have to find out about that. Great stream. I also recommend No Man's Land, though the road to Omnibus is a bit dry. I agree with that. No Man's Land is great by itself. So peace and love. Thank you very much. I hope you all have a good rest of your evening wherever you are, and I will I will play us out with my theme song, the theme song for Baturdays. Appreciate you all, and thank you again to Dominick for being a great guest. Really appreciate it.
Thanks so much, everyone.
Baturdays. Baturdays. OmniDog in the miniature of comics. Talk forever, get right your ergonomics. Taking questions from the chat. With a name like that, you think they talk more about the fact. Baturdays. Baturdays.